my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you. I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean, no longer a thing. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
I do this for the kids who sit a bit outside the mix, who maybe cope through humor just to fit in for a bit, who never let the world know when depression's setting in. To all of those who know you, that impression don't exist, and it ain't counterfeit, it's just a way to counter it. I'm living things I dreamed about, I still encounter it. It ain't something that a cigarette or alcohol can fix, but all because of it, I flipped it quick, went on to write some hits. This a success, off another breath. This the first step in searching to be nothing less than be the best in what you do to prove their strength in being you. Learn so much in chasing dreams that I never would in school. Depends on where your passion lie, just no passion never lie. Life presents distractions, but your actions have to fortify. The things that you believe in have to scream it like a battle cry, and leave the ones who didn't looking stupid while they're asking why. Couldn't lie, I really do this for the ones I love. Those who treat the music as a vice and lyrics like a drug. Those who need advice on how to lift their spirit high enough to break out of the box they make of lives they know aren't good enough. Just because it's how it is don't mean it's how it has to be. This is what the uninspired testifiers fail to see. Jealousy results from being that which others failed to be, and if it means you're not with me, that honestly sounds fair to me.
I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean, no longer a thing. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
Do this for my mother, she'll be working for the summer. Do this for my father, cause these days I often wonder what my life would have been like if I was not adopted. To grow up in a home where I was treated like a problem. I don't know, it's just a guess. Your guess probably good as mine. Lucky that I grew up in a home that wanted me to shine. Lucky that I grew up around some mountains we were taught to climb. Without that inspiration, I don't think that this would be my life. Do this for my friends who've scattered all across the country now. I'm out in Sweden walking back through life so I can write it down. Make a living off the sound, so crazy to say out loud. I'm the biggest thing since Travis Rice to come up out the town. Sorry, gotta stunt a little. Used to have my dreams belittled, but it's all a part of it. I know people's minds are fickle, lines between reality and dreams I blur like faded nights. Come up been so good for me, I wish that I could make it twice.
I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean, no longer a thing. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
Sorry, I was conversing with my significant other. She's doing the wrong thing, choosing all the wrong options on the TV. Thank you guys for being here today. I know it's a Sunday afternoon. I couldn't do this without you. You guys make my life possible. I know you could be anywhere else, and the games are starting soon. But we've had a wonderful 24 hours. Guys, this is nothing new to me, bro. I live like this, okay? I want you guys to know this about me. I sincerely think I'm the greatest person in this world. Like, when I look in the mirror sometimes, I look and I say, damn, you look good. So, like, when I go out in public and there's a woman who's like, wow, you're a silver fox. Oh, you're good looking. No, I think I look better than you think I look. You feel me? I have self-confidence and belief. So when you guys write to me and you guys are like, Rico, you're the GOAT. Bruh, I've been the GOAT before you ever knew who I was. I've been the GOAT in my own mind. I believe in myself before you ever believe in me. That's real. And my self-confidence might be offensive to some of you inferior people. You ever seen a dude walk into a room and not sure where to go? That's not me, bro. I'm not afraid to walk across the dance floor and ask a girl to dance with me. Everybody knows I walked across that floor. I asked her to dance. She told me it's a girls' night out, and I got to walk across the floor all alone, and I lost, and I missed that shot. I'm not afraid to do that. But at the same time, if she's thirsty, she better get some water because I ain't buying her a drink. And if it's a girls' night out, it's only because she didn't know me before she decided to go out with all those other little hood rats. That's all I'm saying. I got self-belief like you can't imagine. I'm a music artist who's been rocking to his own music and no one's ever heard it. You feel me? Like, imagine all the music you've never heard because somebody made it and wrote it in their house and no one else heard it. They're just rocking to it, bopping to the beat. Like, yo, I'm killing this. Y'all seen the documentary? Kanye had all his shit through the wire. Kanye had everything. It all falls down for 4 or 5 years. I've had all these thoughts in my mind for 10 years straight, bro. I've been talking and thinking like this analytically for 10 years straight. You know, I showed Kim a DM I got last night. It's from this gentleman who works, where did he say he worked at? Some banks. He works for a bank. Like, you know, one of those important names, like the Lehman Brothers. And he says, hey, Mr. Rico, I'm an executive level leader for a bank. And I think your mind is brilliant and you would make it in my world as a leader. Just your analytical thought process, your attention to detail, all these things. Dude, he wrote me a paragraph. And I think I wrote back to him and just said, yeah, bro, I've been doing this for a long time. I intend to apply myself to sports. And I'm good. Thank you for the support. I have no desire to work anywhere for anyone else. I want to do me and only me. I want to do what the hell I'm doing. So I appreciate you guys for making that life possible. Thank you guys for being here on a Sunday and making my life possible. But don't you ever forget, you don't need to gas me. I gas myself, bro. Sometimes I make a pick and I look at my girl and I say, babe, we did it. You know what I'm pissed off about, guys? I got a lot of money. I got a lot of money. And I looked at my girl and I said, how much did I tell you I wanted to bet on Colorado?
20,000.
Say it again so they can hear you. $20,000 is what I told her I wanted to bet on Colorado. I don't gamble. But the one time I really wanted to gamble because I knew what I was doing, I said, babe, I want to put $20,000. Stone cold, 20 grand. It would have won me. I would have got paid $180,000. And I took the money line on that. But you know, you live and you learn. And what I learned is I don't need to bet any money on these games, guys. I'm betting my reputation. I'm betting on my reputation. So no, I didn't make the amount of money you'd imagine. But let me say this to you guys. Who made more than $500 last night? Who made more than $500 on that game? Because I made $500 giving out the advice. That's what I made yesterday. I'll take it. It's just a day. But what's invaluable is the 10,000 followers who showed up after that. The 2,000 that showed up on YouTube. I'll take it, bro. And we'll just keep going organically. But for those of you who made money off my picks, those of you who make money off my picks, there's one way you can give back, baby. There's a couple of ways you can give back. You go to ricoknows.org, get yourself a hat, get yourself a shirt, maybe a hoodie. The winter's coming. Get a throw blanket for your girl. It's going to say it on there. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows. You go to ricoknows.org, get yourself anything you want. I get a little cut. It's not much. What I really prefer, though, you show up to my YouTube, put your money where your mouth is. Yo, Rick, you made me $500. All right. Real quick. All you got to do, jump in the YouTube live stream. Click on the link. Go up here. Show up to the show and throw a tip in the chat. We don't mind. I'm not begging for money. I'm just letting you know. People kept writing me last night. Rico, how can I give back to you? How can I give back to you? Oh, my God, I want to split this with you. How do I get this back to you? Well, I'm letting you know how. But I don't do it for that. We're here for the organic growth. We're here to grow one day at a time, one click at a time. Share with your friends. Let them know what we're doing. All right? It's a movement. And I'm not even a betting guy. I'm not even a gambling guy. I like to talk about high school recruits and cover film. But let's talk about what happened yesterday. Because I got to talk results. Now, so you guys know the structure of my show. Sundays is Group of 5 day. I talk about Group of 5 teams on Sunday. I talk about ACC on Monday. I talk about Big 10 on Tuesday. Big 12 on Wednesday because it's hump day. We got to go over the hump of the United States right in the Midwest. Thursday, I talk about the SEC. And then Friday, I talk about the greatest conference in the world, the Pac-12. We saved them for Friday. You guys want to mess with me? You guys want to know how great the Pac-12 is? They're 12-0, y'all. They're 12-0 right now. I don't want to jinx them, but they're 12-0 as we speak. Undefeated. Let me know if the SEC is undefeated. That's South Carolina walking around with an L on their chest. I'm telling you. Pac-12 undefeated. Go out with a bang, bruh. Ain't nobody losing from that conference. All right, let me tell you what happens, though. Today. Let's talk about today for a second. There's some big games today. Okay, there's some big games. We got Florida State and LSU. Now, I previewed this in one of my videos, and I talked about it. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I could be wrong. I can afford to be wrong. I'm rarely wrong, though. I really am. I'm rarely wrong. I'm looking at 2 professional quarterbacks. I don't know if there'll ever be stars in the NFL, but they're definitely NFL-caliber quarterbacks. And when you have 2 NFL-caliber quarterbacks and they run into each other, the defenses don't stand a chance. Florida State went out and got a transfer corner in Fentrell Cypress from Virginia. He got a lot of passes batted, a lot of blocked passes, PDs, right? Passes defended. He had about 14 last year. I just look at him and I just think, okay, well, good luck, man. You got to cover Malik Neighbors. And what are we doing with this rushing attack? Because Logan Diggs just showed up. I think Noah Cain's been in school for 6 years now. Shout out to one of IMG's biggest busts, Noah Cain, Penn State's finest. But LSU just looks poised to come in here and score a lot of points because of Jaden Daniels. 2 years under Brian Kelly, I feel like they're going to score a lot of points. But so is Florida State. Florida State's going to put up an insane amount of points. They've been putting up over 30 a couple games now. And Keon Coleman, Johnny Wilson, these guys are enormous. These guys are a jump ball waiting to happen, a 50-50 ball. And if you think you need to go to those guys in the red zone, you don't. Jaheim Bell's open. Now, their offensive line was a kind of a makeshift thing. They found 3 transfers to start for them. We'll see. But Trey Benson is him. Trey Benson is one of the best running backs in the country, talent-wise, top 10 for sure. I don't give a shit what the stats say. That dude's a monster. The only reason he's even at Florida State is because they told you he had a knee injury and he'd never recover, so Oregon let him go. But I'm telling you, Trey Benson is great. Anytime you make Trayshawn Ward transfer out of the school, you're amazing. Okay? Now, who's going to win the game? I don't care. I'm only saying bet the over. Bet the over, 56.5. My parlay for today, I'm telling you, Rutgers is going to beat that spread. I've got Rutgers -6. I'm not excited about it. I don't feel good about it, but I got to start there. Okay? I got to start there. Kirk Soroka, the new offensive coordinator for Rutgers, he has receivers. And they have a 4-star quarterback in Gavin Wimsatt. He just doesn't get it done. He looks like Anthony Richardson. He misses passes he shouldn't. But, my God, he's athletic. He's exciting. Go do your thing, Gavin. Make some plays against these busted-ass, gliding, sliding, naked boys of Northwestern, whatever they're doing. Go beat the Hazers, the mighty Northwestern Hazers. I just feel like Rutgers is going to win that game, okay? And if they don't, they don't. The parlay's dead. We're done. Let's not talk anymore. I got Oregon State -16 over San Jose State. And I'm going to tell you why. Oregon State is very dominant. Last time we saw them on the field, they were beating Florida 30-3. Oh, but Rico, that didn't count. Florida had all the... No, that's the same Florida team you saw that couldn't handle Utah. Okay? Oregon State smashed them just being dominant and mean. The only people that Oregon State really lost is Omar Speights. They lost both their corners, but that's okay. I'm not worried about it. I feel like they'll be dominant. They have a running game worth talking about. They have an amazing coaching and culture. They're not going to lose a regional battle with San Jose State. Now, can they beat them by 2 touchdowns? You're damn right they will. Watch. Their defense is more dominant than USC's. They hit harder. They tackle better. They're coached better. They have a much better scheme. I feel like they're going to win that game by more than 16. Or we're wrong. I can miss all day, guys. I'm 8-3. This weekend, I'm 8-3. No, Friday I was 8-3 alone. Just Friday. Who knows what the hell I was yesterday? No, that was yesterday. I don't know. Who keeps track of this shit? Okay? So, I got Oregon State covering the spread, FSU, LSU hitting the over, and obviously I say Rutgers is going to cover the spread. Enough of gambling. I hope you guys enjoy the game. And when you watch the game, though, there's this wide receiver. You guys want to go watch some huddle tape? Go watch DeAndre Johnson. I'm going to make a huddle film on him. I always forget to. I hope he's in the game today. But DeAndre Johnson is 6'8", 200 pounds. He moves like LeBron James. I've already seen his tape. Okay? He's a wide receiver, just transferred just signed with Rutgers. So he's supposed to be coming in. I didn't see him on the 2 deep. I hope he's playing. He's not injured and all that other good stuff. This is the future, though. To find a 6'8" wide receiver who moves the way he does is tremendous. He's not an awkward 6'8". He doesn't look like one of them slow-moving tight ends. Nope, he got the juice. You guys know I don't give props to anybody unless they deserve it. Now let's go. Group of 5. All right, I'm going to go as fast as I can. I got group of 5 results, and then we got to talk about the games themselves. So results, Pine Bluff was absolutely terrible against Tulsa. Okay. A&T was worse against UAB. UAB had 3 incompletions that whole game. UAB Zeno went 38 for 41. You can't do that with 3 buddies in the backyard right now. Somebody's going to drop the ball. They did that shit in a game against Division I athletes. North Carolina A&T had 2 completed passes the whole game. It was gross. We got East Carolina win up against Michigan. I told you East Carolina's lost everybody. They're starting quarterback. They're starting 2 leading receivers. They're starting running back. Everybody went to the pros. So it's going to be a long year for ECU, unfortunately. Went up to Michigan. Michigan beat them handedly. That's supposed to happen. Let's talk about Rice in Texas. Rice, JT Daniels looked terrible. Looked utterly worthless. Now, Texas, everybody's up in arms about Quinn Ewers and his inaccurate throws, and everybody wants to make a big deal out of quarterback play at Texas because Arch Manning's there. Arch Manning's third string, bro. Stop talking about him. Quinn Ewers is their best option at quarterback. They got to win games. They got to get the rust off. They got to play better. That was bad. I was really disappointed. In South Alabama. I want South Alabama to win 9 games this year. They didn't look the part against Tulane. Now, Tulane is a good team. And Pratt, he had the highest passer rating for the entire weekend. Michael Pratt, the quarterback for Tulane, the highest passer rating on the entire weekend. It's over 200. It's insane. And think about it. How well did Shedeur Sanders play? How well did TJ Finley play? Or Casey Thompson at FAU? Who was the other quarterback? Emory Jones at Cincinnati. None of them are better than Michael Pratt at Tulane as far as ratings go. Looks great. I can't wait to go back and watch the replay. Obviously, I'm watching those today, but, man, it's exciting stuff. SMU, all those transfers really paid dividends. And Preston Stone stepped up to the plate. Remember, he's an accomplished high school quarterback, but he didn't start last year. Tanner Mordecai did. And Preston Stone got his start, and he did his thing with his weapons. Hank Bachmeier had a good game, but they didn't get it done. Jordan Hudson, the transfer from TCU, showed up for SMU, and he played well. 72 receiving yards. It was pretty solid. Akron and Temple. Akron was winning this game. Joey Moorhead, the head coach for Akron, he's got a ton of transfers. They're not from last year. They're from 2 years ago. He got all these transfers 2 years ago at Akron. They're finally playing pretty good. But E.J. Warner, Kurt Warner's son, it's his second year starting at Temple. He throws for 400 yards a game. He put up 292 in this one and came back to win. So shout out to Kurt Warner's son, EJ, doing their thing and winning the game. Western Kentucky, Austin Reed puts up 336. Austin Reed did not hit Corley as much as I thought he would. South Florida didn't look hapless. I have South Florida being one of the worst teams in America. They didn't look hapless. They got some Florida kids, obviously, and they were able to keep up with Western Kentucky, kinda, but not really. You gave up 40, okay? If you're on TikTok and you're writing questions and comments about sports, you're in the wrong place, bro. We don't read here. We go over here we go to YouTube. That's where I get paid. Go to YouTube. All right, sorry about that. And then North Texas getting blown out by Cal. I told you guys, Cal's not that good of a football team, but they're better than North Texas. North Texas lost everybody. They lost their head coach, Seth Luttrell. He's gone. Eric Morse is the new head coach, former UIW coach. That's great. They had to get a new quarterback. I think they got the quarterback to transfer from ULM. And they lost Deshaun Gaddy. They lost Jair Shorter. They lost Larry Nixon III. They lost Varkey's Gums. They lost Cam Robertson to SMU. They lost all their best players. So shout out to them. Charlotte, Biff Poggi. Biff Poggi letting you know he's got a quarterback. If you guys don't know Jalen Jones been around the block a time or two. He's been transferring all over the place, looking for a chance to start. He's a former 4-star guy. Jalen Jones has never really panned out, but you get to Charlotte, you don't have to beat anybody. You don't have to compete with anybody. Sweetie, can you turn that on? Thank you so much. And they win the game. It is South Carolina State, I know. Florida Atlantic beating Monmouth. Monmouth lost their starting quarterback. Tony Musket transferred to Virginia. And FAU sitting there with Casey Thompson. Remember, Casey Thompson, the transfer from Texas, Nebraska, now hooking back up with his old coach in Herman. But Casey Thompson balled out, guys. He almost made my top 5 transfers. He probably will one of these weeks coming up. Larry McCammon was a 1,000-yard rusher last year. Kid picked up right where he was. 125 yards rushing. Shout out to him. UTSA, very disappointing. Losing to Houston. Now, Houston's improved. I told everybody Houston's improved by the transfer portal. Remember, my transfer portal rankings, I had Houston in the top 12, I think. And Houston's got some studs that they got in the portal. Really do. I don't like Dana Holmgren as a coach. I think he does less with more. But UTSA was favored in this game. UTSA was a 3-point favorite on the road, and the reason they were favored is because they have Kavarian Barnes, Joshua Cephas, and Frank Harris. This is a guy who's supposed to be one of the best quarterbacks in the whole country. He throws 3 interceptions. Frank Harris looked hapless out there. I was extremely disappointed in Frank Harris. I watched that game from beginning to end. Very disappointing. Shout out to Houston. Donovan Smith, transfer coming over from Texas Tech, getting it done, right? I don't care. It didn't look pretty. It was tough, but he did his thing. Donovan Smith is an athletic dual-threat quarterback. Houston's got themselves a guy. Let's go make our plays. Memphis blowing out BCU. Nothing surprising there. Do not forget, Memphis lost 6 wide receivers to the transfer portal last year and their wide receivers coach. So it's a whole new receiving core. But what's not new is Seth Hennigan is him, and he did his thing. So that is the American. Next week's games for the American. Sorry if I'm going so fast, but I got to go. Ole Miss and Tulane. It should be a good game. It should be a good game. I don't care about the rankings. I just think it's going to be an exciting game. Texas State and UTSA. What an amazing game. We all know now Texas State is real. They beat Baylor. Incredible. And they're playing UTSA. Let's win. This is a very important game for recruiting purposes. Both of these teams want to take back Texas. They are in that second, third echelon of Texas teams, right? You got the perennial powers up at the top. You've got the good programs in the Power 5 programs. And then you've got these guys, the mid-majors that are good. But they're better than Rice. They're better than North Texas. They're that next tier above with the SMUs. And they're fighting for it. So we'll see what Texas State can do against UTSA. I'm excited for that game. I will not miss that game. Navy and Wagner, 2 terrible programs at this point. I don't care. Good luck to Navy. They should win. Marshall at East Carolina. Marshall has an amazing running back. And we're going to talk about it later when I go over the Sun Belt. But Marshall has an amazing running back. And I hope they can run all over East Carolina. I think Marshall's going to win that game. Tulsa at Washington. I'm excited for Tulsa as a program. They're not beating Washington. That's too bad. SMU. I'm excited for SMU as a program. Oklahoma better hope they win that game. I can't wait to see these spreads throughout the week. UAB looked fierce. They hit on all cylinders. And now you're going to Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern's a good program. We'll see what happens. I think in that matchup, from what I've seen so far, I got to go with Georgia Southern just because I trust Clay Helton a little more. Ohio doesn't have their quarterback. Rourke's hurt. I don't see them winning that game at all. FAU's winning. North Texas at FIU. Looks like a good matchup for me. FIU did look very competitive in their first couple of games. Houston at Rice. Houston's winning that. A&M at South Florida. Before the season started, I said FAMU is going to win this game. That's how bad I thought South Florida was. I don't know if they're still winning. I got to see how they do against Jackson State today. But I really like FAMU. If you guys don't know, Florida A&M had an amazing transfer portal class. And they got a running back, Yance, from Nebraska. They got a couple other players I'm excited about. They got a kid from LSU, things like that. I like FAMU. We'll see if they can put it together. Memphis is going to crush Arkansas State. Arkansas State is the worst FBS team in America. You just saw them lose 73-0. They got beat so bad their coach was crying on the sideline. Charlotte, great game for Biff Poggi to go up to Maryland, his old stomping ground, and get some recruiting shine from the players that he likes to recruit from the DMV. They won't be competitive, I don't think. But it's nice for them to go up there in a rivalry game. We'll see what happens. I got to see Rutgers today before I can talk about how they're going to do against Temple. Usually the game's pretty close. Temple's got themselves a hell of a quarterback in Kurt Warner's son. But we'll see how Rutgers looks today before I give any more talk on that. Before I go to the next conference, I'm going to go to the chat. Hey, I'm going to go to the chat, and the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to talk chat for 5 minutes. Sweetie, can you keep me on the 5-minute timer on that? 5 minutes on the chat timer, and then I'm going to jump back to the next conference. So let's go. I'm going to try to cover as much chat as possible before I go. Okay, let's do this. Chat, Connor says first. Unorthodox says, do you think FAMU will beat Jackson State today? No, not necessarily. I think Jackson State is loaded with some real FBS-level talented players. I love what Jackson State does. I've studied their roster intensely. I like Taylor as a coach. It's just, we'll see. We'll see. That's all I can say. Thoughts on Brennan Armstrong game versus UConn? Well, that is group of 5, I guess. Armstrong looks terrible. He doesn't pass right. He doesn't hit the right guys. Rosner and all them. He did rush for 90 yards, so people are excited. I like MJ Morris better, the backup quarterback. I'm not an Armstrong fan. Never will be. Never have been and never will be. Trust me, it's personal. His uncle was my football coach when I was a football player. His uncle was my football. I don't like that family. Let's keep it real. What up, Brennan? Who covers the spread tonight? LSU or FSU? Who covers the spread? I'm not a gambler like that, bro. I just said take the over. I don't know. I foresee whoever wins, it's going to be a high-scoring game. ECU versus Marshall. FSU versus LSU. You guys are all talking crazy. Marshall's going to win that game, Colton Waters. That's how I feel. And they didn't look good, but I still think it. I'm number 35 on the pick'em, Rutgers tonight, and I'm top 99%. Morant's Rants, my twin brother, telling you guys on the pick'em, he's number 35. So now we have a group called Rico Knows on YouTube, on ESPN. We have 1,300 members. Just so we're clear, when you look at groups in America, we are in the top 10 for sure. In the United States of America, there's Rico Knows. We got College Game Day, Sports Center, First Take, pardon the interruption, and then Rico Knows right here. We did fall behind the Ohio State fans. These guys are punks. But we're still here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th place. We're in 9th place firmly. We're not losing. Alabama will never catch us. But we're in 9th place in the country. Now, in the group, I'm not doing so great. But if we look at the top people, there's a guy named Montague here. Go Dogs. He's number 1. He went 8-1 on his confidence scores, though. Remember, confidence scores are everything. It's what order you put them in. It's by confidence, not just picking them right. So he did really well. This guy, Curtis, some random numbers, dude. Shout out to Robert Lopez if you're here on the show. Thank you for being here. FTF Boog Picks, Juice Box, Ches M something, another number person, Marky Marks, Arizona's Best Picks, Charleston Rogues, Falcon, and hey, shout out to my boy Tri Glasson. I know he's in here right now. He's in the chat. I see Tri Glasson every day. It's just nice to see people I recognize. Down here's Evan Kramer's another regular on the channel. Most of these names I don't memorize or I don't recognize. And if Morant's Rants claims he's anywhere here, he'd have to be Cali Boy 8596. I don't think that's him. We can go to the second page. Anybody see a Morant's Rants anywhere? We do have a derogatory name. I won't even repeat it. Apparently it's a Saltine. We got somebody named Easy Money, Made for This. Shout out to all these guys for being up here. Made for This has 2 entries up here. That's pretty damn good. There's Morant's Rants on YouTube. Okay, he's tied for 35th place. Imagine a guy tells you a story like he's number 35. Well, that's what he was. He says he's number 35. Well, yeah, you and about 20 people, bro. Morant's Rants on YouTube right here. 7-2. Good stuff. Proud of you. Much higher than me. I'm not doing great. Callie Sticks is here. I recognize that name from YouTube as well, or from TikTok. I'm not doing great. My highest rank is 742. I'm in 742nd place. But, man, am I picking them great when it's time for me to talk in front of the mic, right? I did something right. Let me know. Back to the chat. If you're on YouTube or you're on TikTok trying to chat to me, you got to go to YouTube. That's all you got to do. And then you can be a part of the show and see all the graphics. Back to what we're saying here. Shout out to Morant's Rants. Follow him on TikTok. Follow him on YouTube. Do your thing. San Jose State upset Oregon State. I don't see that, Adam Singer. I don't think Oregon State really gets upset all that much now. San Jose State does have a great quarterback in Cordero. They have a good receiver room. I like what they're doing. I just think Oregon State matches up well with anybody. They're mean. Oregon State's looking to be a dark horse in the Pac-12, not worry about a Mountain West opponent. But San Jose State did play a game really strong against a Pac-12 opponent, and they've had another week to play games. So they've been able to iron out some of their deficiencies. They know what their weaknesses are. Oregon State might not be aware of what their weaknesses are week 1. Morant's Rants, I need some tips on how to pick them. There you go. Forrest Mackey retracted. Rashawn Zoker says, yo, Rico, what's your take on number 50 who plays for TCU? No take at all. I'll go back and watch the tape. I don't watch Pac-12 games until Friday, though. Remember, I do my show on Friday, so I watch everything on Friday morning before the show. So that's when I go back and reach them. That's been 5 minutes. Thank you very much. What's the group of 5? The group of 5 is the 5 conferences that are not vying for playoff spots. So you're looking at the American, Mountain West, the MAC, Conference USA, and the Sun Belt. I have real chips now. Shout out to Willie Bobo. Willie Bobo, if you didn't know, that's our biggest fan. He has real chips now. He must have took my picks. Thank you very much. I'm a professional stock picker. Sports is easy. Morant's Rants is saying he picks stocks. The stock exchange is much more difficult than sports. I don't know. Cool UTSA or whatever the Texas team is. Texas State? get at me, the Bobcats. Forrest Mackey says, talk to me about UTEP. Let's go, Rico. Mackey, what do you want me to say? UTEP, they struggled in their first game. They looked terrible against Jacksonville State, but they bounced back and proved me right. I like it. UTEP should be beating teams. They should not be losing. They have a good wide receiver in Smith, the little guy who just transferred back from Texas A&M. They have a good coach who made terrible decisions at the end of that game, but come on now. Does San Jose State cover the 14.5? I have to say no. It was 16 when I looked at it. If it's 14.5, that means people are putting money where? On San Jose State, right? So, I don't know, man. I don't know. Or maybe the other way around. How's that work? I'm not a gambler. Thoughts on Charlotte? I love Charlotte. Mr. Heat plays. I just don't think they win a lot of games. I think they're going to be much improved, but they don't win a lot of games. Biff Poggi, love what he's doing as a program. Love the way he's recruiting in the transfer portal. Get belief in your system. Do what you do, but it's tough. And they move conferences. You move to the American, it's a lot harder than where you've been, and you weren't winning before. Charlotte had professional players. They had Grant DeBose. They had Spencer Weaver. They had guys, or Elijah Spencer. They had players, and they still weren't winning. All right, back to over here. Thanks for being here, guys, by the way. I appreciate you. Did we finish the American? We finished the American. Yes. Let's go to Conference USA. Conference USA, once again, I told you, UTEP had a fluke accident losing that game to Jacksonville State. Just a terrible decision by their coach at the end of the game. Passing on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1. Just dumb. UMass looked amazing. Really improved like I told you they would. Beat New Mexico State. A bowl team, right? They won 7 games last year. I was disappointed. Eli Stowers being a transfer from A&M should have won that quarterback battle. He didn't. Paiva goes out there, looks pedestrian. Jerry Kill shouldn't have lost the game, but they did. They weren't ready. FIU, they looked poised to win this game, and La Tech stole it from them. Shout out to Sonny Cumbie for being one of the worst coaches in America. I think he gets so many good players. He knows kind of what to do in the press, in the room with X's and O's. He is a Mike Leach kid. He's supposed to be that guy, and he just doesn't get it done the way others do. Whenever you see a coach coming from that tree or a quarterback coming from that tree, they usually put up 40 points a game and know the air raid left and right. Sonny Cumbie's teams never do that. It's gross. Then you got Alabama. Alabama coming out. They're trying to let us know Jalen Milroe is him. Shout out to Isaiah Bond for having a breakout game. Yes, it's Middle Tennessee. I know. They're going to struggle. But for me, Isaiah Bond, coming out of Buford in high school, was a state 100-meter champ out of Georgia. I've always thought he's one of the fastest, most explosive guys. They just weren't utilizing him right. And then I see him lead the team in receiving. I'm like, yes, finally got some play. Shout out to him. Bowling Green at Liberty. I told you guys, Bowling Green's one of the worst teams in America. Apparently they're not because they made a comeback. But Liberty still covered the spread. Let me double-check this real quick, though. I think Connor Bazelak transferred to Bowling Green, if I remember correctly. And Connor Bazelak is the worst quarterback in America. He was the starting quarterback at Indiana last year. Remember, he transferred into Indiana, and then he played like dog shit all season, and then he transferred after 1 year. They just said, get the hell out of here. And he transferred to Bowling Green, if I remember correctly. I'm going to double-check that. My memory sometimes, y'all. Let me see something real quick. Yep, there he is. Connor Bazelak, the worst. Camden North was the starter last year. They had to bench this dude. Connor Bazelak, 6 for 21. That's Anthony Richardson status. 28% completion percentage, 3 interceptions. How do you win a game with a dude named Connor Bazelak going 6 for 21, 71 yards, 28% completion percentage, 3 interceptions? It's embarrassing. That's embarrassing, Connor Bazelak. You're the worst. The worst, bro. That's why they lost. That's why I knew they weren't going to be good. It's not the team's fault. It's that dude's fault. Well, individually, just that one dude. You can't play quarterback. You can't tell anyone you're a quarterback with those numbers. You can't. 26% completion percentage? What are we doing? All right. Then we got La Tech and SMU. SMU doing everything they were supposed to do with their recruits, like I said. Beat the brakes off of La Tech. Looked impressive. And even though La Tech, he played well. I'm sorry. Is that the rice? Yeah. Sorry, we're cooking over here, y'all. We're having a feast. Next game, Jacksonville State looked just as impressive as they did the week before, overpowering East Tennessee State. Western Kentucky doing their thing like I talked about. FIU and Maine. This is why I'm worried about FIU. Struggling to beat Maine 14-12 after losing your first game. I told you guys, FIU might be one of the worst teams in America. They lost everybody in the transfer portal. New Mexico State bounces back, beats Western Illinois like they're supposed to. 58-21. Paeva's still playing quarterback. Hey, Star Thomas is a bowling ball. Their running back, Star Thomas, he's a JUCO transfer. Bowling ball. He's pretty cool. UTEP and Incarnate Word. UTEP wins the game, but Zach Calzada throws for 245 yards, and he's nice with it. Who's Zach Calzada? You guys remember him? Used to be Texas A&M starting quarterback, transferred to Auburn. He tried to parlay winning the A&M job to go start for Auburn. He couldn't, and then he transferred to UIW, which makes more sense. So he's back home in Texas, and he's the starting quarterback for an FCS-level program, doing well, played well, but they still lost. Deion Hankins, 174 yards. Good for him. It's a JUCO transfer at UTEP. Shout out to my boys at Sam Houston. Don't sleep on this performance. Sam Houston lost to BYU 14-0. I told you they'd cover the spread. They did. The spread was 19.5. Sam Houston redshirted all their starters last year. They redshirted all their starters so that they would keep their eligibility. So all their starters played 4 games, and then they sat out the rest of the year. It's an incredible story. And they showed up last night, and they looked good. You're telling me BYU, Mr. Big 12, Power 5, and all this shit, our first year in the FBS, and we can play BYU 14-0? It reminds me of those South Dakota State teams when they play Iowa, or North Dakota State plays Arizona. Like, you play a Power 5, Group of 5 team, and you play them hard. And you show them we're no cakewalk. Like, you're not just going to walk over us. I'm really excited for Sam Houston in Conference USA. As you look across Conference USA, it's obviously the weakest conference in America. Sam Houston is not going to face a tougher team in conference. Western Kentucky, it might be the exception. But other than that, what are we looking at? I'm looking at Sam Houston being really competitive in this conference. I said they were winning 6 games. I think they're going to win more. Babe, did you put it on the game? This doesn't look like the game. I know. I told you to put it on the game. I don't want to see North Augusta and Lakeside. I just want to know who was playing. This woman's got me watching local high school football, and our local high school teams suck. Let me get focused here. So, next week, listen to my picks carefully. UTEP at Northwestern. I don't think UTEP can beat Northwestern. Even if Northwestern looks terrible today against Rutgers, I still don't think they had the juice. New Mexico State's going to lose to Liberty. I'm calling it now. North Texas will go into FIU and beat them. That's how bad I think FIU is. Jacksonville State not beating Coastal Carolina. Northwestern State not beating La Tech, I would hope. Missouri's going to win that game. Houston Christian lost their starting running back. He's now at UTSA, so they're not going to be competitive. This game down here, oh my goodness. Air Force at Sam Houston. Take the under. Whatever it is, take the under. This is going to be one of those games, 8 o'clock at night. Don't know the spread, don't know what's going, but nobody's scoring here. This is going to be so low. Everybody's going to be in the box. Party at my house. There you go. Shout out to Conference USA. All right, we're going back to the chat for 5 minutes. Let's go. Those guys on Fox were mocking transfer portal players who's got the laugh last now. Yeah, Willie Bobo, they don't even know what transfer portal players are. They don't even understand how it works. They all think everybody in the transfer portal doesn't know how to play or didn't want to compete for their job. And I look at them and just go, you do realize Baker Mayfield was a transfer. Kyler Murray was a transfer. Like Caleb, who is it, my guy? What was wrong with me? Caleb Williams was a transfer. Whew. Travis Jordan, transfer. Jordan Travis, transfer. Babe, you got me distracted. Can you not do that right now? Thank you so much. My good, I apologize, guys. My girl's tidying up the living room and it's distracting me. Can't do that around here. We've got to stay focused. Thank you. Just transfers are everywhere. They don't know what they're doing. Rico, there's no video on here, only on TikTok. Rico, there's no video on here, only on TikTok. Tom, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. That was before the show started? Man, what is wrong with people? Show's got start times, y'all. Punks, did J.J. McCarthy or Drew Allard look better to you yesterday? Jack Stoker, I'm not impressed when a highly dominant team wins with better players. So neither one of them looked better to me. If I had to compare the two, neither one moved me, bro. They're not essential to their team's success. The offensive line and the running backs are. Their defense, their coaches, those guys are interchangeable. I could swap them out with anybody, and they're still going to win games, especially against that opposition. I see you're wearing an LSU shirt. What up, Lucas Jimenez? Is that your way of telling us your side for the game tonight? No, not at all, Lucas. Not at all. It's just I'm wearing a shirt in support of my significant other. She's an LSU fan, born and raised in Louisiana. So shout out to her. We wear shirts around here. She bought the shirt. Thank you. David in Arizona says, hey, Rico, thank you for the great content. It makes the games funner to watch. Shout out to Will Jacobs. I heard there's an opening at Barstool Sports. Hey, yeah. Well, if they want to hire me, all I'm looking for is a partnership deal. I don't really want to answer to anyone or work for anyone like that. They can put Barstool next to my name and get free pub, and I'll get free pub off it. But outside of that, I don't want to work for them or anyone. I just want to make this clear, guys. I'm special like that. I want a stress-free life. I don't want to go to work. I don't want to be in businesses. I don't want to be on TV. You can't neuter me, bro. You can't censor me. You can't dictate what I want. If I want to have a beef with an SEC football player who sucks every day, I'm going to go and have that beef. If I want to call out somebody and say something, no. Let ESPN keep hiring the next, the alphabet with short hair. Let them go for it, bro. It ain't got shit to do with me. I'm living in my own world. I'm just letting you guys know. Don't get me started on these punks. Hit that like button, y'all. What up, Willie Bobo? I know everyone made money taking Rico's picks. Thank you so much, Bobo. I hope they did. Show starts soon. Get your questions in early. I answer them one at a time. In order. Only ask once. Don't ever repeat yourself. Pisses me off. Jack Stoker said, did USC's defense look any better yesterday? I'll talk about that on Friday. That's when I talk Pac-12. Rico, spin your magic, bruh. San Diego State needs a new, head football coach. Even at 2-0, they're unwatchable. Going to get rolled by UCLA next week. I believe that's true. They are extremely unwatchable. I saw the game last night. They were initially losing to start the game, Idaho State. And then they, came back and won, but they're still very, very, That's what happens, bro. And I don't understand it. You're in San Diego. Get some players. Cortland Armstrong says, how come Cormani McClain didn't play Saturday? Because he's not better than the people on the field. Everybody imagines 5-star recruits are better than the players on the field. This is why you guys talk about Arch Manning. They're not better than the players. When you get 5-star recruits, that should mean you got really good depth. That means you went out and got a player for your practice squad. You shouldn't be able to recruit a 17 or 18-year-old kid, and he's better than the grown men on your roster that you've been developing and making stronger and smarter and faster. There's just no way. If that's the case, whatever high school program he's a part of, they're better than your program. He got developed better in high school than you. That's how I feel about it. You paid people's bills this month. Shout out to you, Kenneth Rubin. If I did, they need to break me off. That's all I'm saying. David Gavin says, what did you think of Xavier Henderson and Emory Jones? I'm a Cincy fan and native Florida boys bald. Davin Gabes, I've been saying the same thing for a year now, okay? And it's Anthony Richardson sucks. Anthony Richardson had NFL caliber wide receivers and didn't know how to get the ball to them. Emory Jones does. When Emory Jones was at Florida, he completed 65% of his passes. With the same wide receivers 1 year later, they were even better than they were the year before. Right? You had Shorter and you had your boy, Henderson. Xavier Henderson, Justin Shorter, and then you switch out Copeland for Pearsall. And that dude completed 53% of his passes. Oh, and Emory Jones had 100 more rushing yards. Emory Jones rushed for 800 yards. Anthony Richardson rushed for 700 yards. Emory Jones outplayed that dude every which way, and twice on Saturday when it counts. And you want to see the magic? Get him to Cincinnati, let him start, beat out Ben Bryant, and then transfer in and then go ham. Now, you're playing nobody, but still, the continuity's there. I'm impressed. I love it. Do your thing. I want transfers to succeed. Go find a scenario that works for you. Be closer to home if you want. Be in a scheme that works for you if you want. Improve your draft stock. Go to a conference with better competition. Find a new fit. Follow a scheme. Follow a coach. Go to your old recruiter. Go play with your best friend from high school. I don't give a shit what the reason is. Everybody wants you to believe that every player jumped in the portal because they couldn't compete and they couldn't get playing time and they couldn't start. But I just gave you 10 different scenarios and reasons why people jumped in the portal, and ain't shit got to do with them with I couldn't start at my last school. Shout out to Henderson for finding somewhere to be and be successful. Let's go. What up, Bernard? Are we going to get your input on the Rutgers game? I already gave it. Rewind the show. Kamani Vidal is a dog. Evan Kramer. If you guys didn't know, Rico knows. I did a video about Kamani Vidal. Kamani Vidal was the starting running back at Murrieta when they won the state title here in Georgia. They won the 7A state title. Their star player, Eric Gilbert, the 5-star who just got arrested for breaking into that hookah shop, that shop. What was it? What do they call that? Where they buy stuff? Vape shop. Yeah, he broke into the vape shop. So in high school, they had Harrison Bailey, the starting quarterback, who went to Tennessee, then transferred to UNLV, then transferred to Louisville right now. Their starting wide receiver was Ricky White, went to Michigan State, then transferred to UNLV. He's starting wide receiver there right now. But their starting running back that nobody talked about was Kermani Vidal. 5'7", 190. They said he didn't run fast enough. Well, he went to Troy, rushed for over 1,000 yards last year, and then this year, first game of the season, what's he do? School record. Shout out to Vidal, and shout out to me for knowing all that shit. Rico, when you moved to San Antonio, we got to link up in San Marcos when Texas State hosts the SBC title game. Zach, in a heartbeat, bruh. Good to see you. Zach's one of my day ones. And I've been talking about Texas State from day one. So shout out to him. Yo, what up, Free Chronic? Evan Kramer says Troy versus K-State predictions. Predictions is K-State's real. That's not a good matchup for Troy. Cheryl Singleton says Colorado player playing both ways. Crazy. Shout out to Travis Hunter. I watched him play both ways in high school. It's no different. It's just a bigger stadium. Football field's 100 yards, bro. Football field's 100 yards. Get in shape. You go play it. Go do your thing. Shout out to Trav. Rico, what up, Daryl? Why ain't Troy Franklin make your transfers list? You make some, you don't. Who was supposed to be off the transfers list? Who was supposed to be off the list? He can't make the list unless you point out somebody who wasn't supposed to be on it. Morning, Rico Letts. There it is. Rico, what up, Dexter Moves? FSU or LSU? Already answered that. Sean Duloc looked really good. This is why I like Tri Glasson, bro. I gave this man a shout out in the pick'em because I knew he was here, and he's talking about Sean Duloc. You guys don't even know who Sean Duloc is. He led the nation in solo tackles last year. He's the middle linebacker for the Buffalo Bulls. He's good. He led the nation in solo tackles. He's just a meat-eating linebacker. Reminds me of like who's the guy that was with the Panthers? Luke Kuechly. Luke Kuechly. That's what he reminds me of. Here's the thing. Sean Duloc, he actually, the other starting linebacker next to him is a transfer from Brantley. What's that word? What's that? It's Brantley, right? The New York school, the FCS school. And he had the second most solo tackles. They got two linebackers that can tackle everybody. I kid you not. What's that kid's name? Hold on. Joe. That's his name, Joe. Joe something. There it is. Joe Andressen, right next to him. Joe Anderson. Look at that. My top 50 transfer portal players on defense, Joe Anderson. He's the transfer. Buffalo's got linebackers. That's why they look so good against Wisconsin. And they still gave up 140 yards to Braylon Allen because Braylon Allen is him. All right, back to the conferences, guys, then I'll get back to the chat. Give me a second here. Hey, before I go, I see a guy up here gave me some tips. Kemet, a little extra for my guy. Thank you so much for the tips, brother. You make my life possible. That means a lot to me, dude. I see them. I appreciate them. Shout out to my guy, Rico. You know your stuff. Been rocking with Coach Prime since Jackson State. Made $4K from the Colorado game. Hey, man, I'm proud of you, dude. I'm happy for you. That means you put it all on the line and you believed in yourself. That's a pretty decent-sized bet to get that payout. So thank you for helping me. Thank you for giving back and sharing your winnings with me. I do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I can't do this for a living without you guys. So thank you to everybody out there. We'll keep doing what we do. You guys motivate me. Let me get back to these conferences here. Sweetie, can you erase all that that FAMU Jackson State spam that I see in the chat if you see it? Thank you. All right, now we're going to talk Mountain West. Mountain West, San Jose State. They look good against USC like I said they would. Shout out to their boy. I told you they would cover the spread. Ohio, San Diego State. Once again, San Diego State's the least watchable team in America, right up there with Army and Navy, and they still beat Ohio. Good for them. Hawaii looks sharp against Vandy. I told you, SEC, not that strong pound for pound. Stanford and Hawaii. I called this game just the other night. I told you that we'd hit the over and Hawaii would be able to score. Once again, Schrager leads the country. Now, he's played 2 games, but he leads the country in passing right now. Total yards passing, he's over 700. And, he could pass all over Stanford. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Stanford had 5 new DBs starting. That's how I knew that we were going to hit the over, y'all. All right, games yesterday. USC and Nevada. Nevada is much improved as far as I'm concerned, but how do you compare it to USC? Well, you don't, and that's what happened, okay? Now, Boise, everybody kept telling me, Boise's going to beat Washington. This is my pick for the underdog. Not me. I didn't pick them to cover the spread. I didn't say they're going to be – this is the number 1 passing offense in the country last year. The number 1 passing offense in the country last year, and you want to try to pick you want to be cute and pick something else. Michael Penix Jr. is him. They're going to throw all over the field. Boise couldn't cover that. Boise looked hapless. New Mexico, much improved. I like them. Obviously, they don't match up well with A&M, so you can't even be competitive there. Good for A&M for actually living up to their hype and scoring some points. Utah State, I told you they'd cover the spread. Doesn't matter who Iowa is. They can't score that many points. Who the hell created that line? That was the most ridiculous line ever. They were a 23.5-point favorite or 24.5-point favorite. Something insane. It was ridiculous. Iowa doesn't even score like that. So whoever in Vegas, they sold. They did that. That was ridiculous. Shout out to Fresno State, though. Mikey Keene. I told you guys all offseason, Mikey Keene is the man, transferring from UCF. Started as a true freshman, won 7 out of 9 games, 7 out of 10 games, back when Dylan Gabriel got hurt. But Mikey Keene is the dude. Showed up and balled out. But don't forget little Eric. Where is he at? Little Eric Brooks over here. He's 5'7", guys. Eric Brooks. He's from Corona, California. Eric Brooks dominated that game against Purdue. Out there looking like Rondo Moore. I'm just saying. There's Air Force. They're a problem. Air Force beat Robert Morris like they would. There's Bryant. That's what I was trying to think of. Bryant. The linebacker's a transfer from Bryant. Joe Anderson, transfer from Bryant. UNLV beating Bryant. I love everything UNLV's doing. It's weird, though, because UNLV's starting quarterback last year was, what's his face? Brumfeld, Doug Brumfeld. Is Brumfeld hurt, or did Zevi Ekos beat him out? I got to go back and watch the replay. I have it recorded. I will be watching it today. I need to know what happens here because Doug Brumfeld, 6'4", dual-threat quarterback, and we got a whole new guy up in the box score. I need to know what that's about. I'm going to go figure it out. I was hoping Colorado State was going to be competitive here, but Cam Ward was too much. Cam Ward's a beast of a man, 450 yards passing, looks every bit as good. And anybody who says an FCS quarterback can't make it in the FBS or the Power 5, you don't know what you're talking about because Cam Ward's been doing it for 2 years in a row now. Talk about embarrassing. Texas Tech goes out there, gets up 17-0 in the first quarter, and then just shits the bed, bro. They don't wet the bed. They shit the bed. I can't believe it. Texas Tech loses to Wyoming in overtime. Wyoming. I want to click on this and see if Harrison Whaley actually played. Give me a second here. Nope. It was Peasley. Well, Peasley led the team in rushing and passing. Hey, Peasley's not that great when I turn on the tape. Whaley didn't even play. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. You lost to what, dude? I got to watch this replay. I only watched the first quarter. I thought it was over. Moved on to a different game. Wow. We'll get on it. And not getting Dre McCray the ball is your problem. 5 receptions, 42 yards. You got to get Dre McCray the ball. But Texas Tech, they thought they were going to have a promising season, a sleeper to win the Big 12, all that stuff. All those dreams are over, bro. All those dreams are over. Trust. You can't talk any. If you can't beat Wyoming, you're not beating other teams in the Big 12. I'm letting you know. San Diego State, boring as hell. Barely beat Idaho State, 36-28. This is bad. This is bad. And they always tell me about Jalen Maiden, their starting quarterback turned safety turned quarterback. If you ask me, the Mountain West, their teams are underachieving in a lot of places. I thought this would be one of the stronger conferences because of Fresno State, because of San Diego State, Boise State. They just have been underachieving. They don't excite me. So, Wyoming, man, they look sharp. Let's go to next week's games real quick. We'll jump back to the chat. Next week's games for the Mountain West. Let's see how we call this. You guys hold me accountable. I'm not going to miss, though. But let's go. UNLV is going to lose to Michigan. San Jose State's finally going to win a game. Wyoming's going to win. Give me UCF to beat Boise. They're going to be at Boise, but I still got UCF. Idaho is very good, y'all. That's a tough one. Idaho at Nevada. If I was going to pick an FCS team to beat somebody, it's that one. Because Idaho's quarterback, He's good. Oh, man. I'm nervous for that one. I got to go with Nevada. I'm going to take Nevada, but I think that game will be close. UCLA at San Diego State. UCLA is going to crush them. I'm excited for this under, whatever it is, Air Force and Sam Houston. New Mexico will win this game against Tennessee Tech. Utah State and Idaho State, that's going to be a close game. It's going to be a close game. I don't know what the spread is, but that'll be a close one. Eastern Washington and Fresno. Give me Fresno, and Hawaii finally going to win a game. Oh, by the way, Albany's really good. Albany's really good, but Hawaii's going to win this game. Albany's got to fly. Albany's flying from New York to Hawaii for a football game? 4,000 miles, y'all. Holy smokes. All right, we're done with the Mountain West. We're almost there, guys. 2 more conferences to go. Not bad. All we got left is the MAC and the Sun Belt. All we got left is the MAC and Sun Belt. Okay, we'll go to chat. This is going to be good. Thank you. Oregon State minus 16. I already talked about it. Rico, what's up? How you doing? I'm doing. Explain. How you feel about McCarthy? I don't. Your mic is muted. Yeah, my mic is muted on purpose. Dexter moves until the show starts. Stop spamming. Thank you very much. FAMU versus Jackson State. LFG. Does that mean let's fucking go? Hey, I was a video game player once. LFG used to mean looking for group. Rico got that look. He about to go in hard. Pause. About Colorado after being up at 5. I'm always up at 5. I've been in the Army for over 20 years. We wake up early. I'm a first sergeant, bro. I'm up before the sun. People really salty Colorado won. Now they saying TCU is trash. Colorado didn't do it against Georgia or Bama. Yeah, Marlo, move the goalposts all you want. Move the goalposts all you want. These guys are morons. They were saying 50-0. They were saying put the house on this. They're going to lose. They're getting boat raced. Is that what they said? Boat raced? Whatever the hell that means. I don't even know what that means, bro. I grew up in the city, bro. I don't know anything about boats. Are you watching FAMU versus Jackson State at 3? Probably not. I try not to watch FCS games. I watch FBS games. I watch FCS after the season. Please understand, I watch FCS after the season when I'm looking for pro prospects, and if any of those players on an FCS team transfer to the FBS, then I go back and watch all their plays. But I don't watch FCS games. I do watch the playoffs. My bad. I do watch the playoffs, but not just like a regular game like FAMU versus Jackson State. I mean, I'm interested in it. I'll check the box score. I'll go back and watch some highlights if an outcome's interesting or something. But I usually wait for the draft. Hit that like button. Thoughts on E.J. Warner? He's a high-volume passer, gunslinger, little guy just chucking it, man. I hope he keeps playing well. That's Kurt Warner's son playing at Temple, y'all. Get them likes up. Thank you. Please get the likes up. We still have never gotten a live stream with 100 likes. We're at 82 right now. I've never gotten 100. If you guys want to leave the chat, leave the show, hit like, and then come back in, we can get to 100. But I've never gotten to 100 during the live stream. Sometimes we get there after I post it, but I've never gotten 100. I would love to try to get to 100. Curious on your thoughts on SU. Yeah, I know that's random. I don't know who SU is. Are you talking about Southern University? What's SU? Syracuse? I'm not sure who you're asking about. The GOAT. What up, Tavi? Thank you very much. Thoughts on Union from Tulsa? You're talking about the high school. Union? They're a good school. They're a good team. Keep boosting that money line for Colorado against Nebraska. Need Nebraska at 200. Okay. Colorado hate has been crazy today, trucking with Tony, because now TCU won't make a bowl game and see Colorado's overrated. Yeah, how are you overrated? What? Folks want to discount a Coach Prime win so bad. Yeah, they're not folks I kick it with. They're not in my social circle. They're not invited to my cookout or barbecue. The hate in those people is strong, bro. The hate in those people is intertwined with some other. You guys ever, hey, let me tell you something. You ever been driving? You ever been driving on the road and somebody cuts you off? No. Not somebody cuts you off. You accidentally cut someone off. And when I say accidentally, not that you did it on purpose. You didn't even know you cut them off. And then you look in your rear view and there's a car right on your ass. You're like, oh, damn, I cut them off. My bad. I usually change lanes, pull up next to them, and then try to say I'm sorry. My bad. You know, I'm well-mannered. I was raised right. I just try to say my bad, or I'll put my hand up like my bad. And you ever look in that rear view mirror or on that side, and they're flipping you off, cussing you out, losing their mind, banging on the steering wheel? Now, I recommend they never get out of their vehicle. I'm not one to play with, but I'm just letting you know, like they start acting crazy, you know right then and there. They ain't mad at you, bro. They're mad at something else in their life. They're mad at something else in their life. You cutting them off just pushed them over the edge, but they were mad way before you ever cut them off. You're not at fault. That's how I feel about all these haters. They ain't mad at me. They ain't mad at Coach Prime. They've been mad for years. They've been mad for 20 years about some other shit. They got some underlying issues. This is just pushing them to the edge. They've already been there, though. These are terrible people. If you're still hating on these young men, listen, if you love the game of college football, if you are a football fan and love the game of college football, what you just saw yesterday, a man playing over 116 plays, going both ways, if you could witness that with your own two eyes, you witness history. Historic things occurred yesterday. You should be out of your mind ecstatic and remember, where were you when this took place? Straight up. Where were you when the record was broken? Where were you when Shedeur Sanders threw for over 500 yards in a season opener? If you ever wanted to cheer for a kid to transfer to his dream school or his dream job, what if you had a kid at the FCS level right now, just little Mikey, just hoping he can make it, and little Mikey hits the transfer portal and gets his shot at a big school and goes out there and balls out. Pause. What would you do? Wouldn't you cheer for that? That's how you know these people aren't fans, bruh. That's how you know they're not real fans of football. They're haters, and it's deep in their heart. And it's deep in their heart. But you know what? I got something for all those haters. And I'm sticking it deep in their guts, y'all. I'm letting you know right now. I'm never letting up. I'm not stopping, because the same people who were booing and hoping that Shedeur Sanders fails are the same people DMing me saying, Rico, oh my God, Rico, did you see Mikey Keene? Mikey Keene is him. Oh my God, he just transferred here from UCF, and Mikey Keene went on the road and he won. And I'm like, yo, bro, what's the difference? Mikey Keene's amazing. So is Shedeur Sanders. They both did the same shit. They were at a different school. They transferred in. They both led their teams to victories. Nobody saw this coming. Okay, what are we doing? You don't love football. And you're just pissed. Coach Prime cut you off in traffic, bro. You were happy on your highway of hate, and you just got cut off. And now you're screaming and yelling. And now you're pissed off. But we look at you. We see you in the mirror. I see you through my tinted windows, because I don't drive in a fishbowl. I see you. You hate yourself. You woke up this morning hating yourself, bro, as you smoked a cigarette before breakfast. You disgusting motherfucker. Like, I'm telling you, these guys are gross. They're not built for this. Don't let his confidence offend your insecurities. That's right. That's real. Don't let my self-belief offend you. Don't let my self-belief offend in any way. You shouldn't let Coach Prime bother you either. You shouldn't let these players bother you. You heard Shedeur after the game in the interview. What did he say? These boys let that Power 5 go to their head, man. What he's saying is, I've been Power 5 the whole time. I just wasn't here. Don't let those guys on TV gas you. I'm better than everybody on TV. Just because they do it on TV doesn't mean they're better than me. They don't know shit more than me. They're not more prepared. They're not more articulate, more charismatic. They couldn't do half the shit I do. They got a little earpiece in their ear with a statistician feeding them shit. They're sitting there in their suit doing this, and the only reason you know their name is either they played before or they're on TV every day. But they ain't on my level. Don't let them being on TV gas you. I got the same mindset. That young man has the same. It's the mindset of a winner. These people don't know. Oh, Rico, you ain't it. Rico, you don't know about Luganville. Yeah, hock a loogie, bruh. Shoulder check that dude right now. Rico taking victory laps around the world today. Hit RicoKnows.org to be in the Cool Kids Club. Just letting you know. I'm taking victory laps around the moon, y'all, because I'm out of this world. Rico, can you talk about Oregon State and San Jose State? I already did. Rewind the show. Go back. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. This is very true. This is very true. But some of y'all miss 100% of the shots you do take because you're not built for it. Just letting you know. 1 second. Thank you for the tip there. That's my boy. Hey, Mike. Mike's a Nebraska fan. Thank you, Mike, for supporting the channel. You make my life possible. I really appreciate you, brother. Anybody else out there, anytime you tip this channel, it means a lot to me. It helps me get there. Trust me. It keeps me alive. It feeds me. I know you said you don't gamble, but you paid for my semester of college. Thank you, Rico Knows. I sent you the receipt to your email. Shout out to you, Huss. If you did, hopefully I see it. How about them dogs? What dogs? There's a lot of dog mascots. Predicting Javon Antonio has a big game next week. Trucking with Tony, I saw Javon Antonio. Remember, there's 4 receivers with 100 yards. Right? There was 4 players with 100 yards receiving. Javon Antonio struggled to get open because of just a lack of breakaway speed. They were able to jam him, and he couldn't get off the jam. I watched the replay. It just sucks for Javon. I still think he's a very dominant player, but I think he can do that to smaller corners. When they match up with you and they send a bigger one your way, it might be a problem. So next week, Nebraska, their DBs were actually pretty solid against Minnesota. I don't want to get into that matchup. I'm talking that Friday. $5,000, baby. All right, Huss. Shout out to you, man. If $5,000 pays for your semester, holy shit. What school you going to? What community college you going to? My bad. I'm just playing. Colorado overrated garbage. Shout out to Alex. Keep boosting that money line. Going to take me ton of money on Saturday when Nebraska wins. That'll be the first time Nebraska wins this season. Shout out to you, Alex. Alex, weren't you hating about the TCU game last week? Love the shirt. Go Tigers. Thank you, Roger Arvin. Oregon State versus, we already got it. Colorado 3-0 before conference play. Hey, Richard Smith, that sounds very believable. If they can beat Nebraska, they got Colorado State next. And then we got to go to Oregon. But you know what? When they show up to Oregon, if they're undefeated, it'll be a ranked battle. It'll be 2 ranked teams. Get at me. Great work, Rico. LGZ, what up, man? In Kansas, but from Colorado, go Buffs. There you go. Steve says, what are the next possible stops for Prime? The way too early question. Yeah, it's a couple years away, actually. So let's not go there. Damn. Most confident in what pick today? Most confident, if I had to pick a confidence of all the picks today, my confidence would be Rutgers beating, Rutgers beating Northwestern, I guess. The other ones are so sporadic. Me, I did. Maybe Oregon State winning by 12. I like it. I made 1,200. Damn, Tevy, there you go. Bring Prime to Michigan. You guys got a coach? The CU coaches and players responding to you shows your influence. Trucking with Tony, thank you very much. Yes, a lot of Colorado players do follow the channel. I obviously have coaches from other staffs as well that follow me. A lot of people follow me behind the scenes. I talk to coaches on the low. I don't like to broadcast that. I know people think it shows credibility and notoriety and clout and things like that, but I also want to be known for me. Like, I want to be known as Rico Knows. Like, I want to be known for who I am and what I know. This is why I don't sell out. This is why I don't cover one team and become an insider on one team. So a lot of that has to do with just every now and then I'll cover a player's high school film, and if I cover his film and I think he's good enough to play at a certain school, I'll look for the colleges in that region, and I'll reach out to them and be like, hey, I reviewed this kid. Come watch the tape. And then some of the position coaches or the offense and defense coordinator will reach out to me and be like, hey, man, thanks. Great info. And then they'll start following the channel. And that's how we work. We're just going to win over one person at a time. If you guys didn't know, I do have some 4-star athletes out there currently in high school right now. They're going to tell me where they're committed before they tell 24/7 Sports, before they tell On3, before they tell Rivals or ESPN. They want to announce it on Rico Knows. And that's how we're going to do this. We're going to win over the high school kids first. That's why I do all the film. And once we win them over, then obviously they're enrolled in college. Now we have all the college kids. And then they get in the draft, and we got all the drafts, and we got all the sleepers, and we got all the picks nobody knows about. I have a very graduated process of how I'm doing this and how I made myself relevant and viable in this sports industry. And I'm telling you, it is the gift. It is the gift of trust, right? Being articulate and being able to talk about them. But even this last NFL draft, many of the hidden gems I talked about that made the final 53 and got picked up, it's because I looked into those guys, and then I reached out to them and said, hey, do you mind if I tell your story? And they looked at me and said, hell yeah, man, do your thing. So, yes, who follows my channel and writes? Alt McCaskill writes all the time. We got people writing all the time. It's not just Colorado players. I got players from all over the country, but I'm not sitting here trying to flex it every single day. That doesn't get me anywhere. I want to be known for me. I flex Rico Knows every day. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Shout out to y'all. I made $800. Hell yeah. Plus 60,000. Whoa, Legal Hustle King. I don't even have that. I made $350. I've been a believer. Thank you, Tevi. I think Colorado loses one game tops if they get the run defense down. Well, they're not going to be finding any defensive players in the portal. They got to get the run defense down with what they have. There's some really good running teams in the Pac-12. I bet 700, made 7,600. Whoa. I put 500 on Colorado money line. You deserve it, Beast. Thank you very much. I sure as hell did. Our sports book here ran out of money. Damn, Kenneth. $5,000, baby. Been here since day one. New Amsterdam, we trust. There you go, Don Player. Good to see you. Adrian Martinez, what up? I had the picks in months ago, too. There you go. I got a hoodie. Thank you, Snipes. Merchandise, hell on my way to tell your brother to take some damn merch. Ha, ha, ha. Oregon State versus San Diego State. Oregon State's winning that game easy. But that's a Friday question. I'm taking LSU. There you go. Hit that like button. Thank you. Will we have a Tulane review? Michael Pratt had a game. Yeah, I just talked about it already briefly. I'm going very briefly because I got to cover 5 conferences on Sunday. But Michael Pratt looked good. He's the best quarterback in the group of 5 for sure. Steve, thank you for the tip. $5 from Steve. That'll help me, every dollar counts, guys. Every dollar helps. Made super small test bets yesterday. I don't bet on sports ever. Next week, I'm going to increase the amount I bet. There you go, Justin. Hey, do what you can handle. Just never, guys, don't ever bet your rent money. Just don't do it, guys. Made it super. Yep, just popping in. Tip to the hat to Rico. Thank you, Will Hill. Will H. I haven't laughed as much enjoying the clapbacks you're putting on people. It's about time. Keep up the great work and thanks. Yep. Better DB room, LSU or FSU? Better defensive back room right now to me, I'm going to say LSU. And I know that sounds crazy because they got a bunch of transfers, but I believe in Zy Alexander. Zy Alexander's a transfer from Northeast? How do you say it? The Lions. Northeastern Lions? Southeastern, my bad. Southeastern Lions. It's from Louisiana. They had Gage Larvadane and Zy Alexander? No? I'm talking to my girl. She should know this stuff. She's the real sports expert. I just get everything from her. No, I believe in LSU's defensive backs. I really do. I like their whole room. As long as they're not injured, they're fine. But it's a matchup nightmare. FSU has real receivers. You don't ever want to compare DB room to DB room. You want to compare DB room to receivers, right? Because that's who you got to cover. It's rough. Rico the GOAT made me $1,200 off that game. There you go. Thoughts on Troy? Troy looked good. I'll be getting to the Sun Belt here shortly, so I'll get with you on that. Dope Locks the GOAT. What up? You may not know, but Rico knows. Thank you very much. Should I put 3,000 on LSU? Jonathan, Joseph, I don't give any recommendations on betting. You guys know I only bet my reputation. And if I miss, you can't catch me at this point. I'm so far ahead of 500, you can't catch me. I can afford to miss. It's week 1. And I can afford to miss. It's crazy. FSU dominates. Okay, FSU has a good defensive end. Jared Verse, an FCS transfer, came back for his senior year. They have many good players. They have more than one good defensive end. They have 3 of them. Yeah, I'm serious. I like sports. Don't bet. Just here to spread the word. Thank you very much. Rutgers is at 4.5 now. There you go. How about Texas versus Bama? I'm taking Texas straight up. I told you I think they're a better team. They didn't look better yesterday, though. They did not look good yesterday. Bama going to beat them? We'll make a decision later in the week. We talk SEC Thursdays and Big 12 Wednesdays. Rutgers win 4 games this year. Okay. I keep track. Is Alabama ready for Texas? That's a question for another day. We don't talk Power 5 today. What do you think, Texas? Nope. Jersey, baby, 908. What up? Anything to add on the Jackson State game today? I have nothing to say. They have a good team. I always enjoy the games betting. Just makes it a little better. Yeah, okay. I'm going to the UTSA Texas State this weekend. ESPN says UTSA, but after yesterday, thoughts? I don't give a shit what ESPN says. UTSA struggled yesterday, so I think they'll be better. Texas State looks very confident. They look very good. They beat Baylor. Give me, can they stop Frank Harris 2 weeks in a row? Can everybody? It's over 300. Texas State versus Florida A&M. I don't really talk FCS level games. I only do FBS. Sorry, guys. I hate to break it to you. Does Alabama win at least 9 games this season? That's an SEC question. Come back Thursday. I don't answer those questions today. What's your opinion on Louisville right now? That's an ACC question. Come back tomorrow. Is Nebraska cursed? I don't care. What do you think about Casey Thompson? Played great. Him and Herman down there at FAU, they're the real deal. I like Casey Thompson a lot. I bet Nebraska misses Casey Thompson right now. Casey Thompson is careful with the ball. He'll never throw 3 interceptions in a game this year. No way. It's incredible. Mizzou stomped South Carolina and Florida possibly. Blah, blah, blah. Don't care, guys. You guys are talking about Power 5 teams. I won't even acknowledge them. Did I miss the Texas State talk? No, not yet. Yes, you did. Just a little. I already talked about their performance, I believe. I already talked about them beating Baylor, did I? No. Coming up. J.K. Brown, Rico, is high on Texas State. Okay. Oh, just kidding? Just kidding? Or is it J.K. Brown? I don't know who J.K. Brown is. Wimsat looks bad. I already told you guys he's bad. I told you he misses everything. But, hey, Rutgers is up 14-0. I told you take the spread on Rutgers. They're going to win this game. They score. Oh, my goodness. Did we hit again? Did we just hit like that? Oh, my goodness. How about them Bobcats? Yep, Sims might be the worst quarterback in the Big Ten. Agreed. How bad is Nebraska? We're not worried about it. UTSA versus Texas State. Was thinking UTSA, but after, don't repeat your questions. Think Cal will have a quarterback controversy when Sam Jackson comes back from injury. Backup Finley balled out in North Texas. You know, Finley's good. Ben Finley, Ryan Finley's little brother, just transferred from North Carolina State. Yeah, I like Sam Jackson more. Don't care about Nebraska, guys. I talk about them Big Ten Day. Come back on Big Ten Day. That's Tuesday. Luke Altmaier in Illinois, that's Tuesday. Thoughts on Colorado, that's Friday. Thoughts on Drew Aller, that's Tuesday. Nebraska, Tuesday. Arkansas State has some players, just bad coaching. I actually don't think they have really good players either. I've really studied that roster. They have terrible coaching, and the players aren't that great. I'm serious. Everybody's good. Everybody's good. They're all Power 5, or they're all FBS level players. They're all Division 1. But somebody's got to lose games. Somebody does. Every roster I look at, I'm like, oh, my God, they're so good. Somebody's got to lose. And Arkansas State's going to be one of those losers. What's up with Grambling and how's their roster? I don't look at FCS level schools. Only 133 FBS teams. We're going to stop right there with a little B. And I'm going to move back over here to the chat. Let's go to the MAC. Looking terrible. The MAC. Let's see what happened. Ohio looked hapless. Quarterback got hurt. Kent State, I told you the cupboard's bare. They're always going to get blown out. And they did. Western Michigan pulled it out. I think I predicted them to win straight up. Eastern Michigan wins straight up. Okay. Central Michigan, I told you guys they would not cover the spread, and I told you take the under. We hit on both. Miami of Ohio, I said they would not cover the spread and take the under. We hit on both. Just because they couldn't pass against Miami. Their secondary's real. Turns out they couldn't stop the run against Miami either. The run looked great. Oh, by the way, Michigan State, Nathan Carter looks so good. Nathan Carter transferred from UConn. Yeah, he looked really good. All right, so down here, Buffalo actually looked respectable. They picked off Wisconsin twice. Shout out to Buffalo for having a good defense, and they were in this game for a while. But 2 guys rushed for over 140 yards for Wisconsin, and you can't stop them. So that went well. But Buffalo looked respectable. I think Buffalo might be one of the better teams in the MAC from what I've seen so far. Ball State, Ray Davis went ham on these dudes. Ray Davis showing up, transfer from Vandy. And I think that's his second transfer, by the way. But he was a 1,000-yard rusher. Ray Davis put up 100 in like 10 carries. But obviously Kentucky was too much for Ball State. I like Ball State. I like Marquez Cooper. He just transferred in from Kent State. Back-to-back 1,300-yard rusher. He's a good running back. Bowling Green I already talked about. Boston College, Northern Illinois. I thought Northern Illinois is going to be one of the worst teams in the country. I'm still right. They're still one of the worst teams in the country. Boston College is worse. Boston College is worse. Oh, my God, they're embarrassing. Jeff Helfrey will be fired. I told you this. I've made many videos about this. He will be fired, and that'll be that. And they can move on. He's the worst. Ohio wins, but once again, not too impressive. Temple pulling it out. Akron, poor Akron. They were in the lead, and they couldn't hold on. Toledo let me down, but they still covered the spread, so it doesn't matter. They covered the spread. DeQuan Finn looks real. I'm excited. I told you guys Illinois is not good this year. I am telling you, Illinois is not good this year. I'll repeat it. They're going to win 5 games max, 6 games max. Like, it's just not happening. People are going, Rico, they're going to win 8, 9, 10 games. Luke Altmaier, da-da-da. Nope, and nope again. It's all about Toledo at this point. Toledo looks like one of the better teams in the MAC, obviously, even though they lost. They got to be encouraged by the performance and what they did. Yeah, they dropped it at the end. They shouldn't have lost, but it happened. So let's go to week 2. Week 2 for the MAC. We got Ball State at Georgia. This is the second year in a row Marquez Cooper's got to go play against Georgia. Last year, he had 21 carries for 90 yards. He looked really good against Georgia. Not going to happen this time. He was playing for Kent State, Sean Lewis's offense. It's not going to go as well. They're not going to do well. He's not going to rush for as many. Georgia's winning that game, obviously. Central Michigan, New Hampshire. New Hampshire's a good team. They're actually decent, but Central Michigan will win that game. Eastern Illinois at Bowling Green. I think the game's going to be close. I really do. Western Michigan at Syracuse. I think that game's going to be close too. And I know people don't believe it, but I really do. Miami of Ohio, UMass. These are all close games. I can't even give you an outright winner. I think Southern Illinois, I picked Southern Illinois to beat Northern Illinois in this game. I did. But now Northern Illinois looks good enough. But I still want to take an FCS underdog here. Toledo's going to win big. Arkansas is going to win big. FAU is going to stomp Ohio. I want to know what that spread is. I'm taking it. Whatever that spread is, I'm taking it. Akron and Morgan State. Akron will win. Buffalo will win. And then give me Minnesota to beat Eastern Michigan. Minnesota's defense is so mean. But pay attention to the spread here. Florida Atlantic and Ohio. Ohio cannot score points, guys. Florida Atlantic has an explosive offense. Remember what I said. We're looking for that spread. It's going to be one of my locks for sure. Whatever it is. I don't care. It could be 20 points. I'm taking Florida Atlantic over Ohio. Big. Just so you know. All right, we got one conference left. And then I'll get back to the chat. So let me finish up this other conference and we'll get back to the chat. So now we're looking at these guys. Sun Belt all day. Georgia State. I told you Rhode Island was good. Told you guys this game. And Georgia State still pulled it out. Kasim Hill right here. Kasim Hill. He used to play at Maryland, and he transferred to Rhode Island. And look how good he is. He threw for 400 yards. He's a good player, and he handled his business. Oklahoma, Arkansas State, one of the worst teams in the country. South Alabama, I'm very disappointed in. I wanted them to be more competitive with Tulane. They weren't. Shout out to Tulane. Appalachian State, man. Gardner-Webb was in this game. I know the score says 45-24. Gardner-Webb was in this game, but Nate Noel is a good running back, guys. Group of 5 running backs, the best conference in the group of 5 for running backs, Sun Belt. Sun Belt's got them all. Sun Belt's got all the best running backs in the group of 5. Don't forget it. Don't forget it. And it starts with Nate Noel, Jalen White, Rasheen Ali, Ishmael Mahadi, and Vidal. Like, you could just go, it's a who's who list. It's nuts. But I'm telling you right now, Rasheen Ali, 1,400-yard rusher back in 2021, was injured last year. Everybody forgot about him because Caleb LeBron, Lembaum, can't even say his name right. The kid who tried out for the 49ers got cut. But he rushed for like 1,000 yards, and everybody goes, oh, yeah, they lost a 1,000-yard rusher. No. Rashawn Ali's probably the best running back in America nobody talks about. Promise. But back to what we're doing if we're going down the line. Georgia Southern looked dominant. Davis Brin, the former Tulsa quarterback, transferred in, and he did well. Jalen White, back for his senior year. This is his last chance to be the starting running back. He's a good running back. He doesn't have breakaway speed, but he's fast enough. James Madison obviously looked dominant. Marshall struggling with Albany, 21-17. Shouldn't happen like this. Rashawn Ali is the man. Just keep feeding him the rock. He'll be fine. Shout out to ULM. ULM scores 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter and beats Army. It was a miracle, and it ruined my 10-point take. Shout out to ULM. Texas State at Baylor. Texas State stole the show, y'all. They went on the road to Baylor. Shapen didn't look like the juice out there. Blake Shapen struggled last year, and they struggled again. And I'm telling you, Texas State is real. They're winning. They're taking back Texas. G.J. Kinney's doing it, and they're dominating recruiting. They got all the right players that believe in them. They brought in a ton of transfers from UIW, the FCS level. These kids can play football. Shout out to T.J. Finley transferring in from Auburn, former LSU quarterback. When T.J. Finley came in the spring, everybody said, oh, why is he coming in? We already got Hornsby, Malik Hornsby from Arkansas. He's a 4.3 40 guy. He's so fast. Oh, my God. No, he's a wide receiver, bro. Coaches went through winter and spring football with Hornsby, saw what they saw, and said this isn't enough. hit the transfer portal, brought in another quarterback, and now it's enough. Just saying. Okay? Virginia Tech at Old Dominion. I'm sorry, there's Troy. Southern Miss. We're on Southern Miss. Southern Miss against Alcorn. They did their thing. It's a little easy. You're playing nobody. You're playing an FCS team. You should win. Troy, Stephen F. Austin. Hey, Stephen F. Austin is actually really good. They have the really good transfers. A lot of guys who don't pan out at the Power 5 level in Texas or near Texas, they transfer down to the FCS. They go to Stephen F. Austin. Stephen F. Austin has a good team. I've covered a couple of their players on my channel. Shout out to, who was that guy? Bobino, Ed Bobino. Shout out to you, brother. But that's where Kamani Vidal went ham, rushed for 248 yards and had 54 yards receiving. We're talking about over 302 total yards. Shout out to, or 302 total yards, not over, but exactly. Shout out to Vidal doing his thing, first game of the year. I told you guys Virginia Tech would cover this spread and beat ODU, and part of my reasoning for this, last year ODU won this game. Last year Old Dominion beat Virginia Tech. But what people need to understand is Old Dominion lost everybody in the transfer portal. They lost their starting quarterback. They lost Blake Watson, their starting running back. He moved to Memphis. They lost 3 draft picks to the NFL. They had the most guys drafted off of a group of 5 team in the NFL draft last year. Like, people have to know the personnel and why I said they wouldn't cover this spread. It's not just like a wild guess from me. It's me actually knowing all the players on the team and saying, oh, that doesn't make sense. There's no way they cover that. And Virginia Tech showed out and proved me right, and I'm excited for that. Allie Jennings, the leading receiver at Old Dominion last year, and now he plays for Virginia Tech, transferred in. They also got the leading receiver from Middle Tennessee State. He transferred in. Virginia Tech upgraded immensely. I hope they do better in the ACC. They don't look poised to win a whole lot, but I knew they would beat ODU by more points than that. Shout out to Louisiana for winning. Ben Woolridge played bad, but they did enough to win. But Ben Woolridge, if you guys didn't know, he is a former Fresno State quarterback. He transferred when he lost the job to Jake Haener last year. So Ben Woolridge getting the nod to start for most of the game, and he did his thing. Grayson McCall, 3-time Sun Belt Player of the Year, played as best he could. They covered the spread, but UCLA still won the game handedly. UCLA had 2 running backs over 70 yards. They had Carson Still, and I forget the other kid's name. Carson Still, the transfer from Ball State, rushed for 1,400 yards last year in the MAC. Obviously, you transfer from the MAC to the Pac-12, you're not going to get as many rushing yards. He is the blonde stallion. He is that workhorse. Shout out to him. But Coastal Carolina, they had a guy get 3 interceptions last night. 3 interceptions. You can't be throwing 3 interceptions. UCLA's got some quarterback issues they need to work out. Obviously, you're starting a young kid, but those are the results for these guys. Let's go to week 2, Sun Belt. We'll make our picks, and we'll check to see how we did at the end of the week next time. I got K-State beating Troy, unfortunately. JMU at Virginia. Give me JMU in the upset. I think JMU beats Virginia. Give me Texas State to beat UTSA. Give me Marshall to beat East Carolina. We're taking some real wild ones here, guys. These are some wild swings here. South Alabama will beat Southeastern Louisiana, like I said. I was trying to remember who they were, FCS level team. I know who they are, the Lions. I just sometimes – there's a lot of teams. Guys, I got to memorize so many different teams. There's 133 FBS teams and 128 FCS teams, and they're all in my brain, plus the Division II schools, Division III, and all the high schools and all the players. There's a lot to dial through in my Rolodex. North Carolina looked good, a lot better than I anticipated. They beat South Carolina. They're going to beat Appalachian State pretty bad. Georgia Southern, UAB, I'm very interested in this game. Obviously, UAB was lights out in their opener under Trent Dilfer. We'll see what happens here. Georgia Southern hasn't been scored on yet this season. Louisiana at Old Dominion. I'm going to be interested in this spread. I believe in Louisiana. Old Dominion struggles a lot. Jacksonville State at Carolina. We'll see what's up. And UConn at Georgia State. Looks like another intriguing matchup. Take Memphis big. Memphis better have a spread of 30-plus in this game. If Memphis is anywhere under 20, you take it. If it's under 30, I still take it. I think Memphis is going to blow the doors off of Arkansas State. That team has quit on their coach week 1. Their coach quit on himself, bro. He's crying right now. Lamar at ULM, take ULM. And Southern Miss at Florida State. I don't care. Take Florida State. That's how we go. All right, we're done with all those guys. Now, to the chat, and we end the show. Thank you guys for being here once again. I got about 300 people watching the show right now, 170 on TikTok, and another 130 over here on YouTube. If you guys got any questions, comments, concerns, if it's about a group of 5 school, I'm taking questions. Go up here, go to the YouTube, join the live stream, hit like before you get in the show, and then talk to us. We got 150 likes. We broke the record. I've never had more than 150 likes. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for doing that. 169, get the likes up. Thank you. Thoughts on Milroe? That's talk on that about. I talk about that on Thursday. I apologize. Thoughts on Nebraska? Don't care. Thoughts on UNC? Find your conference day and come back. When does Oregon State cover the spread? Why does Oregon State cover the spread? Because they're very good. They're hard to score on. Please don't repeat your question 3 million times. Ian Strong just made an unreal catch. I got it on the TV. I can rewind it. It's right behind my monitor here. Arkansas State stinks, but OU was great. Their second-string quarterback will be first-string before the end of the year. SMU, OU by a lot. J.K. Brown. Yeah, Jackson Arnold is a 5-star quarterback. He should be starting by the end of the year, like all other 5-star quarterbacks. Shout out to Trevor Lawrence and who else did it recently? The Clemson kid. Why am I drawing a blank on his name? I know everything about him. Kid who played at Westlake. It'll come back to me. Where's you reading the questions from? From right here, Alabama sports fan. Who wins, Miami or Texas A&M? That's not a group of 5 question. Thoughts on Dylan Gabriel? That's not a group of 5 question. Please stop spamming your stuff. Mute him. Rico, keep applying pressure. I will, Lloyd Jackson. My picks weren't so hot in this group. In the group. Oh, that's so bad. Oh, yeah, my picks weren't either, Darren. It's okay. Could Washington win the Pac-12 and Phoenix win the Heisman? That's not a group of 5 question. Put the links in the bio, Rico. The links are in the bio. They take them out sometimes, but the links are in the bio. Hey, let's go. I'm 15th. There you go, Evan Kramer. Yes, you are. Rico, thoughts on Cormani getting 0 PT yesterday? It's not a group of 5 question, but he's just not better than the people on the field. Touchdown Rutgers, like I was saying. Primetime make it. Yup. Rico knows. Congrats. I see 5,000 subs. Thank you, Wayne Morgan. Stay true to you. Love the show. Thank you so much, man. You might have spoken on it. What is your thoughts on BS School, the HBO show documentary? Satipio Snipes. I've done my own episode on Bishop Sycamore. Obviously, I've seen the documentary. I've seen everything about the school. I did a video on it many months ago. About 200,000 people saw it. You can search for it on TikTok. Hashtag Bishop Sycamore. Hashtag Rico Knows. You'll find the video. And you can enjoy it for what it is. I might have posted it on YouTube. I doubt it, though. I think it was a long time ago. I think that's the one I put at plus 10 on Colorado. Okay. Shout out Stephen F. Austin. Good teams win. Great teams cover. Fair. Is Colorado a playoff team? No. Don't do that. Don't do that. We don't even talk about playoff teams in here. I won't even predict conference champions. You can win your conference and not go to the playoffs. So how are you going to say, are they a playoff team? That doesn't even make sense. They can win every game on their schedule and still not go to the playoffs. You want to predict somebody's a playoff team, then that means you have to predict other conference champions lose. Because if everybody goes undefeated, then how do you validate them being a playoff team? Maryland Townsend game reaction. That'll be talked about on ACC Monday tomorrow. Colorado secret sauce, high altitude. Yeah, get in shape. Do you think Colorado's recruiting strategy changes after seeing the weakness in a game situation? Not necessarily. They know their weaknesses, Bob. They know what they need. It doesn't change much. They're not going to recruit defensive line help. They're going to get it in the transfer portal. They're going to get players that can contribute immediately. They want 22 and 23-year-old men to transfer in and plug those gaps, not a 17 or 18-year-old young man who needs to develop physically. That's not the recipe for success. Thoughts on DJ for Oregon State? No thoughts. He's there now. Milroe going to struggle versus Texas. Okay. Hey, Rico, could OU and Texas be walking into the SEC next year with the best quarterbacks in the conference next year? Adrian Martinez, I talked about this already. Yes. Yes, Jackson Arnold will be the best quarterback in the ACC by year 2. Yes, they will have the best quarterbacks in the conference. Who do you think is the strongest group of 5 conference? It changes every year, Free Chronic. Obviously, it's been the American for the last 2 years, but with the American losing Houston and UCF and Cincinnati, it can't be the American anymore. It just can't. So for me this year, I think it's the Sun Belt this year. But it changes every year. Next week, UTSA versus Texas State. Get excited. Thoughts on Washington and Penix Jr.? Total beast. Evan Kramer, no, that's not me. How did Milroe look to you? Look fine. I'll talk about it on Thursday. What's wrong with Baylor? I'll talk about it on Wednesday. Baylor losing to Texas by 70. He did it. He's trash. Thoughts on Hudson Card? Yeah, I already talked about it in a video. Please go find it in my game reviews. Find that playlist. Will Virginia Tech be favored to beat Purdue next week? Talk about it on Monday. Thoughts on Drew Allar? Talk about it on Tuesday. Once again, group of 5 only, guys. I'll be trolling that clown from Florida. Thank you very much. If LSU wins tonight, what do you think their rankings will look like? I don't know how the rankings are going to look. I'll do a show on the rankings or my reaction to the rankings. Once they come out, we'll see what happens. What's your opinion on Dylan Edwards? He's extremely fast. I've always thought highly of Dylan Edwards. I've talked about him a lot. W. Komet, thank you very much for the tips. Shout out to Komet. Opinion on Dylan Edwards? Don't repeat your question. Pat McAfee and the Sellout Boys. Yeah, I can't do it. I can't do it. Thought on Ches. Ches transfer, right? Ches is a Clemson transferred to Missouri, and I thought he did well. Shout out to him. What does the backdrop say? The backdrop says Rico Knows, transfer portal expert. Over under for FSU at 3:30 game, please, bro. Over under for FSU at 3:30 game, please, bro. I already answered this question, Bo Davis. Go watch the video. What do you think about Maryland this year? I'll talk about it on Tuesday. Can you please talk about Oregon State today, bro? I already talked about the game. I already did all that. DeQuan Finn is him for Toledo. Tough loss for the Rockets. Yeah, both things are very true. That's 100% right. Rico, if you sell picks, you would be a millionaire. All right, Tevi. I'm cool. We're getting there. We're getting there. I'm never on a get-rich-quick scheme. I'm not on a hustle to try to get rich. I'm on the grind to be successful. Okay? I want passive income, not quick income. I never chased a get-rich-quick scheme in my life. Dude, you're talking to an enlisted member from the United States Army for over 20 years. I was in the Army enlisted for over 20 years. Yes, I made it to be a very senior-ranking enlisted member. But I didn't go chase a warrant packet. I didn't go become an officer. I didn't get out, become a contractor. I worked at the NSA, bro. Worked at the NSA for the last 10 years. I didn't go chase a dream and go. They give me 6-figure offers all the time. That shit don't motivate me. Job satisfaction motivates me. Doing something I love motivates me. Living a stress-free life motivates me. I'm good right now. Being rich, you know what comes with rich? A whole lot of stress. I'm cool, bro. I'm not poor. I ain't stressed a dime in my life. I ain't worried about swiping my card ever. I ain't got no credit cards. Everything comes straight from the account, and I ain't sweating it at all. Buddy actually picked UNC to lose to SC. Rico don't know. Davis Wall, I don't bat 1,000. No, I bat 80. So, yeah, I'm going to miss every now and then. It happens. Try me. Luke Altmaier, thoughts? Talk about it on Tuesday. Thoughts on Oregon State, San Jose State, brother. Already talked about it. Rewind the show. Thoughts on K-State. That's a conversation for Wednesday. Opinions on South Alabama. It looked really disappointing. Yeah, they're playing a really good team, Cooper. That's what I think it is. That's my opinion. I still like them. Still like Webb at running back. Still like Bradley at quarterback. Still like the receivers and the brothers, the voicing bro. Like, I like everything about South Alabama. They just did not look good against Tulane. Tulane is real. He will never talk about the game today. He elaborates too much. Chase Pointer, if you're not a believer, don't be here. Just leave, bro. I'm going to be okay. There's 300 other people here. You're not going to make it. You're on the wrong side of history. Tavi, Rico already a millionaire, bro. Well, here we go. Illinois BS Toledo. I don't understand what BS means. Nothing but Rico dubs. Hokies always on top. Versus Toledo. Yeah, I already talked about it. How do you think Allar played? Talk about it on Tuesday. Thoughts on Ohio State quarterbacks? Tuesday. How did you feel about Colorado's offensive line yesterday? I know it's early in the season, but it seemed consistent, quick passing game. I've already talked about them before yesterday, and I'll talk about them again on Friday. I talk Pac-12 Friday. You should be on a network. You're better than a lot of the analysts out there. Thank you, Iman. Kalani, tell the network, whoever hires at networks, tell them where I'm at. Shoot up a flare. Let them know where I'm at. Thoughts on Purdue. Guys, I talk all that shit other days. Get the schedule. It's posted. It's pinned on my TikTok. Get the schedule. Show up on the right day. You guys are all here on the wrong day. Thank you for being here, but you're here on the wrong day. Malik Benson going to be on your transfer list soon. We'll see. We'll see if he can play his ass off, if he can do something. Give me FSU 47-44. Something big like that, I'm hoping. Congrats, Rico, on the Colorado pick. Thank you, Mike. Chat just jumped on me, y'all. Everybody, please be patient. No, this didn't happen. This didn't happen. Sorry, guys. When chat jumps like this, it's hard to find my spot. Love the content, man. There it is. Mike says, congrats on the Colorado pick. 40-plus points. Both defenses suck. Nebraska should beat them next week. Okay, well, good luck with that. I don't think the defenses suck at all. I saw a lot of effort on defense, and that's what matters. If I see people not giving effort, then you suck. Shout out to Florida. But I did not see a lack of effort from these defenses. I just saw really good offensive players. You got a surgeon at quarterback. It's hard. It's hard. It's solid. It's hard as hell to stop a quarterback that's capable of throwing 500 yards, who's so accurate he completes 70% of his passes. I heard Zico had got denied eligibility for MSU. Yep, it happens. It happens. Rico, safe to say you got him. Thank you very much. Any inside skinny on Jalen Daniels' back? They just tell me he's hurt. I don't have any inside stuff. I haven't really dug into it either, Steve. I could reach out to some people, but I just haven't. I could reach out to the locker room. I could reach out to some coaches, but I'm not digging that hard. Trayshawn Ward on your transfer rankings. Trayshawn Ward is on my transfer rankings. Let's see where he's at. Trayshawn Ward. Trayshawn, where you at, bro? Could have sworn. Yeah, he's number 10. Trayshawn Ward's number 10. Shout out to K-State. Xavier Leggett looks like A.J. Brown. Oh, Xavier Leggett. Hey, Rutgers still moving that ball? As long as Rutgers is up by 6. You guys know I just hit on another call, right? That's how we do it. Hopefully you're having a good day. Thank you, Noah. Coach Sanders, Rico Knows. Shout out to you, Lewis Hinton. My question of the day is, what makes a good college kicker? I have no earthly idea. I don't think kickers are football players. They're just kickers. They're just a separate part of the football team. Like they do something different. They don't catch passes. They don't really run. They're not required to tackle. They're just kickers. That's their one skill. It's weird. It's you know, there's nothing like this in sport, except for maybe pitchers. But I don't know. What do you think about Harold Perkins, best player in the SEC? Rico, love the content, man. Thank you very much, Daryl. What D lineman can Colorado get out of the transfer portal to help with the run? Stop that. There's none. Does Texas State beat the UTSA? I hope so, Ken. I'm a Texas State guy, so I hope so. Was the defensive line the reason why they gave up a lot of points? Talking about it on Friday. When are they going to learn not to schedule? When are they going to learn not to schedule Fresno State? Hey, you gotta make your money. You got to fill the roster. Got to do something. What do you think about Michael Pratt and Tulane? I already talked about it. Please rewind the show. I said he's the best quarterback. UCLA pass blocking was horrible. Quarterback got tagged a lot. Hey, Rico, do you think Big 5 schools are going pack up transfer over new high school recruits? So everybody signs the same amount of high school recruits every single year. Everybody signs 25, no matter what. They're all signing 25 kids out of high school. And then whatever scholarships they have left, they're hitting the transfer portal. If they miss on transfers, they just send them to the transfer portal in the spring. They do exit spring meetings, they send them to the portal. That's how that works. So everybody understands. Every team's going to sign 25 out of high school. Cool. That's the limit. Good. Now they show up, they look at the rest of their roster, and coach goes, oh, we missed on some of these guys last year. Because they're going to keep missing. That's just what they're going to do. It's okay. It's the new strategy. It's the A&M strategy, the Ole Miss, the Alabama, Clemson's doing it. Everybody's doing it. Doesn't matter. Just get rid of your guys. Force them to the portal. Georgia did it too. Not sure how Wyoming won, besides scored more points. Wyoming WR wide receiver that won it went to my high school, Rockhurst. There you go. Great show. Have to run to church. About to start. Oh, I forgot. People go to church. Shout out to you. Did you see Trey Harris 4 touchdown? Dart had a great game too. Yeah, so I've been talking about Trey Harris all offseason. Transfer from La Tech, leading receiver from La Tech, and he transferred to Ole Miss, and he balled out. Yeah, they're playing nobody, but yes, I know Trey Harris well. Get you YouTube TV for Sunday Ticket. Never imagined it would change my college football viewing experience. It's awesome, and I think DVR is unlimited. So long, DirecTV. Yeah, Darren Tatum, I use YouTube TV. I can watch 4 games at once. I also can record every single game and add it to my library, and I can do that on my computer with my 2 monitors. So I can conceivably make sure I track 6 games at a time. Yeah, shout out to YouTube TV. I don't know what I pay for it because I don't really worry about money, but I do pay for it. Give me a second. I'm looking at a touchdown. Did he push off? Did he catch it? Rutgers is still up 17-0, about to score before the half. I told you Rutgers is better than Northwestern. Everybody should have listened to me. Oh, my goodness. Rico knows we hit again. With the altitude and Sean Lewis's offense, Nebraska's going to be huffing by half. They'll be bent over at the waist. Take that for what it's worth. Rico, hopefully you and your wife are having a wonderful day. My question is, what makes – yep, we are. Are you more liberal or conservative? I don't talk politics. I wouldn't describe myself as liberal, though. Rico, who's making the playoffs? I'm not a fortune teller. How about them Hogs? How about them? Talk ball 11th, where we at? You got 105 likes. I got 167. Thank you, though, Steve. You guys rock. 110 now. Right now, your show. Blah, blah, blah. No pause. Rico, how you feeling about UTSA? Franklin is gone. Harris played worse than he has in years yesterday. Yes. Ain't got shit to do with Harris. He still hit his receiver. He's the one who's got to throw the ball. You got other guys. Go throw it. He looked terrible. I won't talk about Maryland until their day. Remember, I talk about Power 5 conferences throughout the week. Pick a day and show up. Most freshmen didn't play that game. Omarion Cooper was a lockdown corner alongside Travis. They only show their touchdown. That's a very important people understand matchups. TCU, only time they were throwing the ball and they were overly successful was their tight end. It was not on them receivers on the outside. Omarion Cooper is a man and he can jam. Hey, Rico, USC's wide receiver room is better than Ohio State's room. I think they're very comparable. So true. Bama looked good. There you go. I don't think Prime is proof. Hold on. Are we kicking a field goal or are we going for a touchdown? I'm sorry, guys. I'm watching the game. They look like the really good defense. A bunch of FCS kids and backups just beat up a runner-up for the national title. You don't think it's a good coach? You're tripping, Brad. Yeah, no, it's not a bunch of FCS kids. They're all Power 5 kids. You got it twisted, BTG. You got it twisted. They're not a bunch of FCS kids. There's only like 7 kids from FCS, and those 7 were all Power 5 talents. Shador is nice. Travis is nice. Dylan Edwards is nice. Them boys got serious talent. Yep. It was 105 degrees on that field. Defense got tired. Rico, USC, don't repeat yourself. Deep in their guts. I'm telling you. Brad already got matched. Colorado. Yep. Da-da-da-da-da. A Southern Miss. Quarterback Billy Wiles played good. Garrett Schrader looked good yesterday. Yes, he did. Shout out to Billy Wiles. And Schrader always looks good. What do you think about Harold Perkins? Please don't ask me again. A runner-up that lost their quarterback. Yeah. You guys are going to start debating. Take that shit somewhere else. Thoughts on Drake May's performance yesterday? I'll talk about it tomorrow when I discuss ACC. Not today. Dion had a great interview after the game as well. He did. Brad, so USC San Jose gave you confidence about their defense. Rico, stop asking. Marcus, being better than garbage doesn't mean you're great. Stop it. Thank you for the tip, Mike. I see it again. BT, nope, not sold there. Why I feel like people want to see Dion fail, I'm rooting for primetime in Colorado. He has a mindset of a winner. Yes, he does. Thoughts on K-State? I'll talk about it Wednesday. Brad, okay. Colorado, I've seen enough to say Colgate is going to win the Natty. Okay. I hope you're talking about toothpaste. So before the game, TCU was the runner-up, and now they're trash. Yep, Prime Hater's crazy. Marshawn Lloyd is a beast. Yes, he is, CBB. Yes, he is. Who has the better D, TCU or Nebraska? I will probably talk that on Tuesday and Wednesday. You guys can ask. Thoughts on Harold Perkins? Again, bro, stop this shit. Who wins LSU versus FSU? Go away. I'm not doing it. Just became a follower and love all the breakdowns. Thank you, Bernard. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the tip. The first time ever. You're the best, man. Rico, thanks for the 250. You got it, Jesse. I think next week we'll see a better defense. They beat Bo Nix. Throw interceptions before Shador. I feel they beat Oregon. Bo Nix going to throw an interception before Shador. Okay. Prime would love this channel. I think so, Johnson Steve. I know his coaches do. And so do his players. I'm just waiting to hear that Marvin Harrison is going to sit for the rest of the season. Exactly. Clemson or Duke? I'm going to answer that on Monday. So thank you for asking. Did you see Penn State last night? I will go back and watch Penn State on Tuesday. I rewatch all the conference games on their specific day. I watch them in preparation for my show. BT, I'm a lifelong Oregon fan, but I agree Shador clears Bo. That's dope. They need to investigate that Penn State game at the end. Someone had money. What? Oh, because he scored to cover the spread. I'm aware of it. Yeah, Franklin knew the spread. Yeah, what about those Bobcats last night? Super impressive. Love everything about them. I'm excited for them. Will OU lose their quarterbacks to TP? Transfer portal? No. Freshman Arnold Jackson will be the starter probably before the end of the year. No, that doesn't matter. You're not losing your quarterback. That's your quarterbacks. Your quarterback's Dylan Gabriel and Jackson Arnold, and nobody else matters. I will take your player and program assessments over any nerd's power rating models all day long. Side note, Colorado State quarterback was trash. I'm here for the whole Rico Knows story arc. There we go. I didn't even check to see who started the game. I apologize. I owe you that, Ryan. I owe you an answer there. Next time you see me, we'll give you a story arc on it. I didn't see who Colorado State started at quarterback. Why didn't Tommy Brockermeyer play for TCU yesterday? Because he's not any good. All you guys gas up transfers from like Alabama or 4- and 5-star kids, and that doesn't mean you're better than the people on the campus. Once you get to college, your stars don't matter anymore. And if you transfer from a school, it means you couldn't play there. You guys, man, Tommy Brockermeyer got to TCU, and he's not a starter. He can't start anywhere. Rico, if you know so much, do my homework today so I can watch football all day. Marcus, I already got my degree, bruh. Put in the work. Rico, Rutgers looks solid. What'd I tell you guys? Clemson by 40 tomorrow. Okay. I don't agree, Gavin. Southeastern Louisiana. Thank you. USC doesn't have an O-line. Thoughts on Texas A&M's Connor Wegman, 5 touchdowns. Connor Wegman's a hell of a baseball player. Northwestern should realign to the Ivy League. 100%. Thoughts on Texas A&M, Connor Wegman. Please don't repeat yourself ever. Thoughts on the Buffalo game. I thought they played well against Wisconsin. They showed out. They have a good defense. No matter what, they didn't match up well, but I thought they played well. What you think about Tennessee's running back room? I don't, but you can talk to me about it on Thursday when I talk SEC. What about North Alabama beating UTC? So, didn't North Alabama lose week 0? I'm not too excited about that, but I don't really follow FCS level teams right now. Not until after the season or until the playoffs. So, congratulations. Does Texas State win the conference? We'll find out. What's up with Old Dominion University? They lost all their talent, and I don't understand it. They couldn't retain it. Coach, something went wrong. Something went wrong, and it looked terrible this offseason. It looked really bad. The wheels fell off. Wyoming's quarterback put his team on his back. That's a fact. What does Travis Hunter have to do numbers-wise to win the Heisman? There's nothing Travis Hunter can do to win the Heisman. His team has to win at least 11 games. You cannot be in the Heisman race on a losing team or on a team not near a playoff berth or a conference championship. You're not going to do it. I've studied the Heisman Trophy winners. It's not happening. By the way, most Heismans are quarterbacks, right? It's a quarterback award. Even running backs rushing for 2,000 yards don't win the Heisman sometimes. It's a quarterback award, and you have to come from a Power 5 school. Travis has a unique thing where he's playing both ways. He's going to need a Heisman moment later in the season. And when you look at the schedule, I just don't know, man. If they can beat everybody and they're undefeated, well, then he's winning the damn Heisman. It's going to be him and Shador splitting votes. But if they can beat everyone, but if they're not up, if they're 8-3, you're not going to Heisman. If you're 8-3, you're not it. It's just the way it works. You can be 4th. You can be 5th. Shout out to Randy Moss. Ask Randy Moss how dominant he was in college. Ask Randy Moss, who played 2 seasons of college football and scored, somebody fact check me on this, Randy Moss scored 52 touchdowns in 2 seasons. 28 and 26, back-to-back years. I think it was 28 and then 26. He scored a touchdown in every single game he played. Doesn't matter. SMU is beating Oklahoma next week. There you go. That's bold. How many FBS teams are there? 133. What do you think will be the Group of 5 team in the New York Six Bowl? The highest-ranked team. The highest-ranked team in the Group of 5. It's either going to be Troy or Tulane. Love your truth. Roll Tide. There you go. Hope you're wrong one time next week. TJ Finley, career rival in Texas State. Career revival? Yep. What are thoughts on the Tulane game next week? I think I already talked about it. Is USF the worst team in the nation? No, apparently not. There's worse ones. Arkansas State to me. How could a coach cry during a game? That man is emotional, bro. He thought he was Dick Vermeil. That Chaz Malusi 89-yard touchdown run was nasty. CMU hung in there with MSU for a while, though. Most Group of 5 teams do, and I want everybody to know this. I watch so much film. You guys probably see box scores, and you don't necessarily watch the film. When I watch film of a Group of 5 team playing a Power 5 team, I see just the most subtle errors. Either coaching, scheme, somebody dropped a pass, just things didn't bounce the right way. It's not like they're completely hapless. Like, I remember watching Charlotte, I think it was last year, and I was watching for Grant DeBose, the wide receiver. So I went back and turned on the tape for Charlotte, and they won one game all year. And I watched the tape, and I went, This is a damn good team. But they're losing games. I said, whoa. These guys are good. These are good players. But they lose the game. That's always going to happen. You're going to have a solid number of players. But I want you to look at, whenever you look at stats on ESPN, when you're looking at stats on ESPN, go down to like the defense. Go to the box score and look at the defense and see how many different players end the game with a tackle. That'll let you know how many players actually see the field. And that means on the defensive side of the ball, second string plays a lot. Third string plays a lot. So you got to have 5, 6 different linebackers, 5, 6 defensive backs to get tackles. You got to have depth on the defensive side of the ball. People get tired. It's not the offense. It's the defense that's the problem. So when you don't realize that, as you start getting your starters, who are just as good as anybody else's starters, essentially, come off the field, and now you got to put in the backup for a breather, just a couple of plays. That's when they get first downs. And first downs lead to touchdowns. That's why CMU hangs in there, but then eventually fades away. Sean Fanning, because he's getting fired. Boston College to Rich to be this bad at football. Yeah, they lost to UConn last year, guys. They fired their previous head coach. He's the offensive line coach at Texas A&M right now. I'm forgetting his name. But they fired him when he went 7-6. They fired him. He went 7-6. He had a winning record. They fired him because they thought they were better than 7-6. And they go and hire this guy, Jeff Helfrey, the defensive back coach that he was at Ohio State for 1 year. He's an NFL guy. He's an NFL defensive backs coach. And they thought this guy should be running a college program. He didn't know the first thing about running a college program. Was at Ohio State for 1 year, gets hired as a head coach in the ACC. Not ready, overwhelmed, over his head, and now he's one of the worst coaches in America. Yep. That's who's the head coach at Boston College right now. Should be fired tomorrow. They got to hire me. I'm just saying. Tell me why I'm top 1% of the pick'em. Why am I beating Rico Knows, Morant's Knows? There you go. Do you like Oregon State over, under? Over. Under. I don't know. I just like the spread on that one. Gavin Wimsatt improved or Northwestern bad defense? Wimsatt improved. Northwestern's defense isn't supposed to be that bad, but it looks like he's improved if they're winning at the half the way I said they would. Ohio State, thoughts? What do you think about Drake May? I don't think about Drake May, but we can talk about that on Monday. What's good, Rico? Think the line is 55.5. Okay, why would? The Matt Berry show is trash, just low-key, dog out CU. I've never seen anybody else's shows. I don't watch other people's content or shows. South Alabama looked embarrassing. You think they turn around? I really do, Cooper. I think they do. They have to. Thoughts on Sam Houston versus BYU? Rewind the show. I was very impressed with them. Does Arkansas have any bright side? None whatsoever. Shout out to JT Shrout, their starting quarterback, transferred from Tennessee to Colorado. He was the starting quarterback last year for Colorado, and then he just transferred to Arkansas. That's how bad Arkansas State is. Their starting quarterback is the previous quarterback from Colorado, who was just terrible last year. Thoughts on Ohio State? We're not talking about it till Tuesday. Remember, you said Shedeur can't win the Heisman. Yes, he can't win the Heisman. You got to win 11 games. Splash Network, I still love you. What happened to Texas Tech last night? They ran into a buzzsaw in Wyoming. Will Western Michigan ever be a MAC contender again? You know, it's gonna take a miracle, Dom. If they get any good talented players, PJ Fleck just takes them. PJ Fleck took their leading rusher, leading receiver, leading tackler, all in the transfer portal. So even if they develop their players, they're homegrown and they're developing, PJ Fleck just goes, hey, because he still has that sphere of influence within that sphere of influence. My bad. I said spear. That sphere of influence over them boys. It's nuts. Babe, you take the meat out? Yeah. Did you taste it? Yes. How is it? Delicious. You made it? Yeah. Opinion on Israel Carter from UCF. Pretty good player. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're not talking about any of those guys today, y'all. Group of 5 only. Maybe you need to join Barstool and help them out. They lack football knowledge. Yeah, I just wouldn't want to kick it with all them. I actually don't want to kick it in that room full of dudes. They all smell like fucking armpits and balls. Just sitting there complaining. Just a bunch of dudes hanging out, yelling at the screen. Oh, my God, what's happening? I can't believe that. Like, all that shit is garbage, bro. They don't even know what they're doing. I can't be around that. I'd rather sit at home with my girl. She's actually pleasant to look at. Cooking a home-cooked meal next to my pit bull. What up, Ash? She heard her name. Ears perked up. What? What'd he say? Dad's talking. What'd he say? Love how your brother supports your stuff. Okay. I think I just skipped too much. I don't like to skip anything. The chat jumped on me. Oh, the chat jumped on me. Come on now. Sorry, guys. Getting back here. Getting ready to wrap up the show, y'all. We got 2 minutes left. If I missed your comment or question, I apologize. We cap all shows at 2 hours. Trying, though. I'm trying, y'all. Trying. Colorado's a solid team that had good game. But to say they're going to win the Pac-12 and be in the playoffs is crazy. All right, Cam. Thanks for the insight. Salute, Rico. Thank you, No Lie TV. I appreciate you for being here. Maybe you need to know I don't. Should the Group of Five and Power Five have its own separate playoffs? Nope. Try Glasson. Nope. They're all football players. They should just all have an equal chance to play in the playoffs. Opinion on how Avery Johnson did. I know it's a small sample. Seemed pretty confident. I'll talk about it on Wednesday. Shout out to him. Boneless Johnson. What do you think about the University of Houston? I don't. They're in the Big 12. I'll talk about them on Wednesday. Texas State will get a New Year's Six at this point. We're hoping. That would be sweet. I know he's not an unknown player, but what's your take on John Rice Plumlee from UCF? Either watch the videos when I talk about him, do a search on TikTok for hashtag UCF, hashtag Rico Knows. You'll find a lot of videos on John Rice Plumlee. Or come back and ask me on Wednesday. Fresno State. Thoughts on Dylan Gabriel? Ask me on Tuesday or Wednesday. Rico, on unnecessary roughness all day, Barstool College Football account. We at Rico? I don't even know who at Rico is, bro. I don't even know who that guy is. I mean, I know that people tell me there's a guy named Rico on the show. I couldn't point him out in the crowd. If Rico knows, then I know all because Rico shares what he knows. Word. I don't share everything I know. What's up, Rico? Just subbed. I appreciate how you analyze the game. Thank you, Jonathan. Arkansas State looked horrible. No shit. Effort. A lot of touchdowns were kids walking in after the catch. Michael, you don't know what you're looking at, bro. You don't know what you're looking at. Go watch my video. I just posted it this morning. Best Mountain West team. Fresno State. Air Force. Those come to mind immediately. I know a lot of people want to say Boise, but Air Force looks mean. Especially after what they did in their bowl game. And then yesterday. My Rutgers pick is a lock. I'm killing this pick 'em. Yeah, I'm killing it too. I made a video about it this morning. Rico, what do you think about the East Carolina Pirates defense yesterday? Yeah, if you're impressed that they held Michigan to 30, that's fine. I like their linebackers. They got 2 linebackers in the transfer portal from HBCUs, from the FCS level. I like that. I like that they're rebuilding and giving players an opportunity, but I can't just specifically be excited about it at all. All right. Hey, guys, I just want to tell you guys, thank you for being here. I appreciate the support. The numbers are going through the roof. Everybody's starting to believe in us, but we know we've been telling the truth the whole time. This is nothing new to me. This is what I've been doing. I told you. You think you're my biggest fan. I'm my biggest fan. I believe in me more than you do. But thank you guys for being here. I never, ever take it for granted. I never, ever doubt myself. And remember, your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Hope you guys enjoy the Sunday, y'all. Peace.
I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean and no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you. I do this for my father, who I've only seen from time to time in my dreams. I do this for you. I do this for my mother, who's finally clean and no longer a fan. I do this for you. I do this for my sister, my wife and my kids, cause they part of the team. I do this for all the naysayers and haters who made me one of the greatest. I know it kills you inside, that's why I do this for you.
I do this for the kids who sit a bit outside the mix, who maybe cope through humor just to fit in for a bit, who never let the world know when depression's setting in. To all of those who know you, that impression don't exist, and it ain't counterfeit, it's just a way to counter it. I'm living things I dreamed about, I still encounter it. It ain't something